Let's try.
Okay,
That's good.
that's live. All right, what's going on, everybody? Y'all know what time it is. This is your weekly AI and tech news with myself, Cyrus Harbin, and my incredible, lovely, futuristic host, our AI specialist, Miss Ash, former tech recruiter as well, killing it in the industry, a founder of Wearable technology, wearable, what is it, AI devices. I get the terminology wrong. But Ash, you can speak a little bit more with introducing yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Pleasure to be here. Welcome everyone on this Saturday evening. We're going to be discussing some super exciting tech and AI news. So as Cyrus kind of alluded to, as you guys already know, my name is Ash. I'm an AI specialist and also a startup founder of a wearable technology startup called Better Boost and also a AI solutions agency. So excited to be here and really looking forward to getting into it.
Yeah. So one of the other things that we're doing with Ash, and I just want to share this with everybody really quickly. I really like, oftentimes businesses, they try to hide what they're doing or how they're doing things, but we're kind of in the type of business where we want to show everyone what's happening when it comes to technology and all the updates. And because we're doing that, it's important, in my opinion, it's important for me to be transparent about all of the technology that we're investing in within our bootcamp. So, for example, I've already mentioned this before. Our qualifier for everybody who's in our bootcamp, or for everybody that's watching this, and you end up speaking with our qualifier, just giving you a heads up. Our qualifier is actually artificial intelligence. So, if you're ever texting our qualifier asking questions, it's AI, and it's so good. I wouldn't even know that it's AI if I didn't actually see the back end of it. It's incredibly good. No one it's texted at this point well over 500 people, and not one person realized it was AI. The irony is that the only time anyone has ever asked if something was AI is when it's been actual people on my team. And that's where it's like been crazy, where it's like nobody notices the AI, but the actual people, and when it's like real humans, people are like, am I talking to AI right now? Are you AI? And so that's crazy. But the other piece to mention is that as clients of Ashley, our actual tech sales program, we're completely updating and revamping our tech sales curriculum. The self-paced part, we're updating that part. So we've upgraded our instructor, who we announced it in our Discord. Our instructor is Horace Mackey. Horace Mackey is a director of sales at Microsoft. He's been a tech sales leader for nearly a decade now. He is a big deal when it comes to tech sales. He also teaches, he gets booked at colleges to teach about enterprise tech sales at colleges. Like, he is a big dog in the industry. One of our most popular episodes on our Tech is the New Black podcast was with him. And so we're very happy that he has collaborated with us to completely update and revamp and enhance our tech sales education, as well as he is the instructor and mentor of the tech sales program as well. Obviously, I've worked in tech sales, but I'm nowhere near the level that he is. So we're super hyped to have him on. That being said, we realized that it was going to take us roughly about 2 to 3 months for him to record all of the trainings that he's basically prepared. And so we were like, man, we're not trying to make people wait 3 months before they have to wait for this updated education. So we actually tapped in with Ashley, and literally she's cloning him with artificial intelligence. So we're actually going to we'll share a few snips online for people to be able to see it. But for everybody that does tap in with our tech sales, and we're going to allow a trial period for people to be able to experience it. But literally our self-paced portion of our boot camps, a lot of them are going to be AI, where the instructors, in terms of the self-paced part, will be artificial intelligence. It will be an AI clone of real people. And again, the reason why we're doing this, one, is so that way we can expedite the process of giving y'all this information, this knowledge, without people having to wait. But the second reason is because we want to double down and show y'all in every single way. We want you to see firsthand this technology. We want you to see firsthand that if tech is the new black, as small as we are, we're popular in the tech industry, but in a grand scheme of things, we're popular in the tech career side of the industry. Let me say that, because we ain't no Apple. I ain't gonna say we popular in the whole tech industry. But as as small as Tech is the New Black is, for us to be implementing this technology in such a way that most people can't even notice that it's AI and won't be able to notice it's AI unless we tell them, it just goes to show you what's really happening in the grand scheme of things when it comes to other businesses and industries, and how we all should be paying attention and even implementing a lot of these technology. So that being said, hey, look, I'm a customer, a client of Ash when it comes to Better Boost, and when it comes to the wearable devices. And y'all gonna see me wearing mine once I get mine. I'm also a client. Tech is New Black is also a client of Ash's as well when it comes to her cloning our instructor, turning him into AI. So that being said, for those of y'all that are interested either in the wearable technology that Better Boost has, or you're interested, if you're an influencer or you're any type of business owner where maybe you're a speaker or you do any type of coaching, I definitely think you should tap in with her, even when it comes to you being able to be cloned AI. Now, again, this will be for anybody that's kind of scared about that idea. There are parameters around it. You don't have to worry about your AI clone running off and doing something crazy. But that being said, y'all, this is what's happening in the future. It's really a whole new world. And as we're talking about this stuff, it's important that we're not, it's important that we're not being those people that, buy all of the gym clothes and get the water bottle and get all of the stuff for the gym, but then never actually get in the gym, never actually work out. So it's important, y'all, that we're not just listening. Like, this ain't the shade room. Like, we're not here to just talk about tech news and then we go on about our way. We're talking about it so that way we can be like, okay, what should we do in our own individual lives to make sure that we're really taking this industry serious and we're taking advantage of it all. Jimmy said this brings up the need for world. I believe you mean World AI. We said World ID World ID by Sam Altman.
Yes.
Super duper Joy says the shades mean she's from the future. Yeah, she she is. So Ash, can you explain to them? And maybe super duper Joy is just cracking a joke. But for those that don't know, Ash, can you explain to them what you're currently wearing and the benefits of it?
Yes, gladly. So, everyone, welcome to the future. These are the latest Nova X smartwear by Better Boost. So, essentially, this is augmented reality technology. Okay. So, you guys have probably all seen the Orion glasses by Meta, which do something a bit similar within the AR space and VR space. And so, these glasses specifically. So, for example, we already know that the Orion glasses, the price point for those are $25,000. Okay. These essentially offer very similar augmented reality features. So, what I'm looking at now, it's not my screen. My screen is blacked out. Essentially, it's just a 120-inch high def augmented reality screen that's shifting the way that we really experience entertainment, cinema, meetings, almost every kind of interaction that humans have in their day to day. So, we're really trying to empower people with this engineering so that they can work on the go, play on the go with gaming, or get entertainment on the go. So not only are these glasses being able to connect to your computer so you can work, but they can also connect to your phones, which we're working on the advanced technology to continue to make this product better. So thank you for the stage, Cyrus, but super, super excited.
Yo, this, I ain't gonna lie, this junk is so crazy to me. It's like, to be like, because right now I got my MacBook. Like, my MacBook's on my, now mind y'all, I ordered my pair, so mine, I'm gonna be having mine soon. But that being said, it's so cool to think about just being able to sit there and you're looking at the screen, but you're not looking at a screen like a computer. Like, that's, I don't know, that's wild to me. I'm honestly hyped. So let's get through a couple of these comments, and then we're gonna jump into this tech news. So yeah, again, for those of y'all that are interested in tapping in with everything that Ash offers, y'all can just look at the description down below. Whether on YouTube or LinkedIn, y'all can just look at the description and y'all can book. She does a free consultation. So even if you're a business owner or you're someone who's in the tech industry or whatever it is you're doing in life, beyond what we just mentioned, she also is an AI consultant. So you can consult with her so you can see what AI can do for your life, for your business, whatever it is. Definitely tap in with her when it comes to that. And as y'all know, for those of y'all that are not in the tech industry and are looking to get some education, some mentorship, and some resources, what the crap? Oh man, y'all about to hear my bad Spanish. Where is the phone at? My apologies for the interruption, y'all. Don't judge my Spanish too harshly. Buenos. Yo voy en 5 minutos. Repetir, por favor. Es Uber. Uber comida. Ok. Y necesito o necesitas número.
Go ahead, Cyrus. All right. Muy bueno.
I think I confused them. All right. My apologies, y'all. I'm ocho semanas aprende español. I completely rearranged that verbiage, but basically
You're
I've been learning
good.
for 8 weeks. Been out here in Santo Domingo. So I'm learning. That being said, yeah, y'all tapping with her. If any of y'all that are looking for assistance with getting in the tech industry, definitely tap in with Tech is the New Black. Now, whether it's for tech sales, and that involves SDR, BDR, as well as account executive, or if it's for the SDET space or the QA, that being QA engineering, QA automation, QA testing, QA analyst, all of that is what we offer, and these programs are AI enhanced with AI trainings on the back end of each of the programs. And if you're not interested in either one of those, you're interested in something else, still tap in with my team. Of course, we collaborate with other tech boot camps that we recommend, that we vetted, that have helped a lot of people get in the industry. So we can recommend you other routes if you prefer something else instead. So aside from that, y'all, I'm gonna get to a couple of these comments, and we're gonna jump into the news. Perry says, I got to get a pair. I saw a comment earlier that was hilarious. Oh yeah, it was from this was hilarious. He said, it wasn't me, it was my clone. He said, I'm gonna use that line. That's so funny. It wasn't me. It's like people really gonna blame stuff on it. It's gonna be dudes telling their girlfriends like, babe, that was not me. It was AI. Let's see. Jimmy says, tell the people about World ID and World Coin. I think the people need to know about that. Cool. I don't know about that. If Ash knows about it, then we'll talk about that on the back end of the news, or we'll all just look it up in real time and talk about it. That's not. I mean, if Sam Altman is involved, he's talking about World ID and World Coin. It sounds like some of the stuff that I've been thinking that we're planning on doing anyway. But anyway, we'll talk about it eventually. Super cool. I will follow online. I got to get a pair. What is the best way to connect with you, Ash, if we're interested in being an AI specialist? That would be interesting. I'm training people on also being AI specialists.
If you want to connect, anyone who wants to connect to discuss how to get into the AI or tech transition, then connect with me at the link below. There should be just a scheduling link on my Calendly. If not, then I can, put it in the chat, but just connect with me there, and then we can kind of discuss how to get into that transition. But if you're interested in starting immediately at the bootcamp, tap into Cyrus's link to get started so you can really gain the curriculum necessities with that enhancement of AI.
Someone said, you said I take the trash out. That's hilarious. That's not what I said, and you know that, but that's still funny. That's a funny comment. So what's interesting is that, and this last thing I'll say about, at least for now, the last thing I'll say about some of Ash's wearable devices. There are also options of I don't want to call them glasses, but I guess they're glasses, but there are options of the glasses where it actually translate everything what people say. So technically speaking, once I get mine, I could be just walking around here in South America, and whenever people speak to me, to them, they'll just see me wearing glasses, but I'll be able to like read on the screen the translation of what it is they're saying. And it's not limited to just Spanish. It's actually, I believe it's somewhere in the ballpark of, am I tripping? I want to say 84 languages or 24 languages, or actually, how many languages?
Yeah, it's like over 40 languages. It's absolutely insane.
So fire, like imagine wearing glasses and you walking around, or you going to any country and you walking around, and whatever people are saying is being translated. Like it's like stuff is crazy. Stuff is super crazy. Look, y'all, we got to jump into this news because that's what y'all are here for, and that's what we here for. So let's go ahead and get into it. Ash, do you mind if I kick it off?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's jump into this thing. By the way, I hope everybody's doing good, doing great. So we all knew this was coming. If anything, it's about time. OpenAI, founder of ChatGPT, OpenAI launches ChatGPT with search, taking Google head on. One of the biggest bummers about the modern internet has been the decline of Google search. Once an essential part of using the web, is now a shadow of its former self, full of SEO or search engine optimization fueled junk and AI generated spam. On Thursday, OpenAI announced a new feature of ChatGPT that could potentially replace Google search for some people, an upgraded web search compatibility for its AI assistant that provides answers with source attribution during conversations. The feature, officially called ChatGPT with search, yeah, they need to change that name. Even if they just name it ChatGPT search. But anyway, a ChatGPT with search makes web search automated based on user questions with an option to manually trigger searches through a new web search icon. I'm gonna read that one more time. It makes web search automatic based on user questions with an option to manually trigger searches through a new web search icon. OpenAI hopes that the new compatibility will streamline web searching by eliminating the need for multiple searches and link exploration that traditional search engines sometimes require. Users can ask follow-up questions with ChatGPT, considering the context of the entire conversation to provide answers. That's fire, because now when we actually think about it, whenever you Google something, and we all do this, whenever you Google something, if you need to double down on whatever it is you Google, it's like you have to like fully re-ask the question in context. Like, I don't know if y'all know this. I know it's a lot of people here that are ChatGPT or AI, generative AI enthusiasts. Some of y'all are much more advanced than me, especially Ash. That being said, I tested something out with ChatGPT a couple days ago, and I felt so stupid. Like, Ash, do not judge me. Do not judge me, because I feel like I should have known this. I literally asked ChatGPT, like I just asked it. I was like, yo, what all do you know about me? Because I just basically asked it, I was like, yo, what all do you know about me? And it was like, oh, I basically know everything about you. It was like, yeah, I know that, I know that you travel a lot. My apologies for the unprofessionalism, y'all. Looks like my delivery's here. It was like, I know you travel a lot. I know that you help people get in the tech industry, and that you are the also founder of a tech bootcamp. Hey, gracias. All right. Basically, it knows everything about me. And the reason why it knows everything about me is because I was treating ChatGPT like Google, where I was thinking that every single thing I've ever typed into ChatGPT, or everything that I've ever asked it, I was thinking that I always had to, every time I would type something else in, I was thinking like Google. Like, let's say you search for a pair of Jordans. You're always searching for a pair of, or let's say you own a retail shop where you have a lot of Jordans and Nikes and things like that. Maybe a resale shop or whatever. And then you ask ChatGPT a question about that, like 3 months ago. You say, hey, how should I price my shoes? Or what's the best organization for blah, 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 whatever. If you ask ChatGPT 100 other questions that has nothing to do with shoes, and then you turn around and ask it 3 months later a question about something you should do with the shoe shop, you don't have to remind ChatGPT that you own a shoe shop. It remembers that you own a shoe shop. Versus Google, every time we Google something, we have to always put in full context what it is that we're talking about. So it blew my mind that I finally realized, like, oh, I don't have to do that. ChatGPT is truly an assistant. It's like if you have an assistant and you teach the assistant something 3 months ago, you usually don't have to like remind that person 10 times. It's like, for the most part, if you train them well, they know what they're supposed to do. They know the information that you taught them. And it's like, honestly, it's crazy that Google hasn't been doing it. It's like they should have been doing it. Because to me, that's not even really AI. That is just simply, they could have just had some code written that just simply said like, hey, like especially if they're using their same Gmail account, Google should already have been able to recognize questions that you asked before. And whenever you're asking another question, it should be able to use the context based off of what you've asked it or told it before. It's actually kind of embarrassing that Google hasn't done that already. I don't know. These are my opinions. I love Google or Alphabet. I love Google as a company. I love Alphabet as a parent company, being the parent company to YouTube, Google, and other businesses that are out there. Nevertheless, to me, this is a huge disappointment that they didn't hop on this sooner. But would love to know, one, from you, Ash, what are your thoughts? And I already see y'all in the comments, so definitely want to know y'all's opinion as well.
Yeah, I love this point, Cyrus, because the future is personalized and the memory feature of ChatGPT is going to be major because it is a platform that can truly understand you and optimize almost every set of communication or almost every area of your life in itself. So, like you said, really alluding to those AI agents, which will in the future be able to be automated. So, like in the future, we can have a Cyrus AI clone that's going to be able to really operate on your behalf. And so we see this really starting to evolve and really do so in such a hyper realistic way to where it's becoming really indistinguishable from reality. So the potential of ChatGPT, since you want to maximize it, is really limitless. So like even if you try and if you want to understand your strengths and weaknesses, ChatGPT can really spell that out for you. Essentially, ChatGPT can really even offer like psychoanalytic benefits because again, like with your communication style, I always like to say to conclude that it's kind of like the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. However, let's replace Apple with AI. So the AI that you're developing isn't going to fall too far from the tree. The AI agent is essentially you.
Yeah, this man, do y'all think because before OpenAI blew up, before like they just went viral and everybody started talking about AI, Google controlled roughly when it came to search, they controlled roughly about I think it was like 92% of the market. Like realistically, they were a monopoly when it came to search. And let me not say Google, let me say that Alphabet, because Google and YouTube, technically being two different companies, they control 92% of the search because obviously YouTube runs it. I want to know from y'all, do you like what will it take before do y'all believe it's possible for Google to be overtaken, specifically in the search? I think in order for that to happen, OpenAI is going to need to create some type of version of YouTube. I know Microsoft has some type of, I know they have some type of video platform that nobody talks about because everybody only goes to YouTube. But I wonder what OpenAI can do when it comes to videos and it being AI and them basically outperforming YouTube. Because YouTube is a beast. Like YouTube is
Yes.
a beast. Do y'all think that OpenAI slash Microsoft or ChatGPT, do y'all believe it'll ever be able to overtake Google? I'm curious to know what y'all think about it. They still have a long way to go because Google is still a dog. Like Google's a big dog, but still, it's like, man, that they clearly fell asleep at the wheel. It's really crazy. Let's get into some of these comments, see what y'all talking about. Steven says, I give you 2 thumbs up with the Spanish. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. I'm still learning. Practice makes perfect. All right, let's jump into these other comments. All right, Kendrick says, I love ChatGPT. It has automated a lot of Scrum Master processes. Cool. Let us know in the comments how exactly you use it as a Scrum Master. You ain't got to give all the sauce away, but I'm just curious. Let's see. I keep hearing Google is trying to niche down with AI though. Yeah, they're trying to. Google Cloud. Yeah, Google Cloud is a big dog. Microsoft Azure is a big dog too because they're the second and third biggest cloud providers. I wonder how AI will be implemented in the cloud space. One thing I do want to be clear with y'all is that a lot of these industries, like the cloud industry, a lot of these industries, they're still scratching their heads trying to figure out how they're going to implement AI. So that's like one of the biggest things is a lot of these people are thinking like, should we use AI? How do we even use it? And so a lot of them aren't even like really trying to hurry up and do it because they don't even really know how. That being said, let's continue on. Kendrick says, it has helped me tremendously when it comes to creating meeting minutes from backlog, refinement, retros, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, a bunch of language I don't know because that's in the Scrum Master space, and your boy is not a Scrum Master. I just chat GBT the prompt and it creates it in minutes. That's amazing. A Scrum Master was already a role that where it's like you had a lot of like freedom and flexibility. Now with leveraging ChatGPT or generative AI, that's gonna make it even crazier. I know that on the Scrum Master space isn't booming as much as it was. That's why I don't talk about it as much. But I love seeing people that are still in the Scrum Master space, still getting it and killing it. I love it. I love it. All right. So look, I haven't gotten any feedback from y'all. Yes, that's why I heard Google is trying to niche with AI because they can't catch AWS and Azure. Ooh,
Yes.
they're using it for okay, they're using it for their cloud. So that way, so Google's like, okay, Microsoft, because for those who don't know, Azure is Microsoft's cloud service. Like AWS is obviously Amazon's. Technically, it's a different company, but whatever. So Google's basically like, okay, Microsoft, y'all coming for the search with ChatGPT and OpenAI. Okay, bet we got you. We coming for the cloud. So they going I was gonna say band for band, but they going tech for tech. It's like, oh, you coming for this side of the tech, we coming for that side of the tech. ChatGPT the bag larger for me. It's wonderful. I have a friend who, and a couple people have this already. There are people that have been creating AI betting tools. So basically AI that helps you place bets or AI that helps you invest. So the AI is telling you based on the market, based on what's happening, hey, this is the company you should invest in. No one has fully cracked the code yet, as far as we know. Like no one has cracked it to where it's outperforming, like specialists in the market, or it's outperforming, like the Roth IR. Gosh, I cannot talk right now. It's not performing the Roth IRA. Nevertheless, I have a colleague who he believes he came out with something leveraging AI that did, and so he's fully focused on it. So I don't know if he does. If he does, I'm definitely gonna hop on board with that. Anyway, we got some more news to talk about. So Ash, I'm gonna go ahead and pass it back over to you.
All right. And thank you so much, Cyrus, because that was the perfect transition. Because just as you asked exactly what the implications of this decision is going to be and how it's going to be really played out on the competitive stage, we're going to be getting into that and discussing exactly how every other large company is pivoting to be able to compete. So let's get into it. We're going to be discussing, as you guys can see, a few exciting topics, starting off with Apple's Apple Intelligence updates. And so this is going to be updates directly to your phone. So not only are you going to be able to access the latest technology, via your laptop, but we're also multi-device. So we're also going to be discussing, of course, OpenAI and how they're transitioning into real-time search, as Cyrus discussed. But we're going to get into the implications of that and how other companies are also making moves to transition and pivot. We're going to get into the fashion industry and how they're adopting AI-generated models, which is super, super exciting, okay? We first knew that actors and actresses may be losing their jobs, but now supermodels. Next, we're going to be getting into how OpenAI plans to develop custom AI chips. So they're competing with Nvidia. And last but not least, we're going to be getting into Google Maps and how they're enhancing navigation with AI features. So without further ado, let's start off with Apple Intelligence. So as you guys can see here, they're updating their operating systems, but I want to make sure that you guys get the inside. So basically, as you guys can see here, Apple essentially set up its first features for users really recently. And so they recently released their iOS 18, which you guys have probably already seen. And so what Tim Cook says, as the CEO of Apple, basically saying that only Apple can deliver. And so he also goes into continuing saying that he's incredibly excited about its ability to enrich users' lives. And so this is really kind of changing everything that's making their operating system more user-friendly. So as you guys already know, Apple Intelligence builds on years of innovation in AI and machine learning. And so Apple's generative models are going to be changing the game for personal intelligence systems. They're going to be easier than ever to use. Okay. So now we're talking about personalization, and that's going to be a major key of the future. And so not only that, but of course, they're going to be focusing on user privacy. I want to make sure that you guys get a holistic view about what this even means for you guys. So getting into it, this essentially is an AI system that's really harnessing the power to be able to understand, create images, and also expanding upon their language capabilities. So We're getting into, of course, drawing from personal context and accelerating everyday tasks. So we're really implementing AI into every aspect of our lives. And so this is going to really unlock exciting new capabilities that are going to be helpful and useful to you. And so here's exactly how. So let's just go ahead and summarize, you guys. As you can see, this was super, super recent as of October 28th. So essentially all of the suite of AI-powered features are going to be integrated into their latest system, so iOS 18. And essentially, it includes tools for writing assistance, notification summaries, and enhanced system-wide AI capabilities. And so let's get into it, what it means for you business owners, and also what are the real-life implications. So for businesses, you guys can leverage the AI features to really enhance your productivity day to day by automating your routine tasks and workflows. But not only that, you're going to be able to improve communication through these writing tools, and of course, streamlining across all Apple devices. Okay, and so when we're getting into the real life implications, really integrating this into your day to day is going to democratize access to advanced tools. So this is going to enable all of you small business owners and individual users to benefit from AI without having additional investments. So there's so much opportunity on the table, and you guys are going to be able to access it at the lowest price possible. So go ahead and start to ask yourself, how can your business integrate Apple AI's features to improve your daily operations? Or what potential challenges perhaps do you see arising from this AI-driven tool for critical tasks? So I'll leave it off there. And then next, we're going to be covering just the detailed implications of the real-time search capabilities. So I'm not going to be touching too much on this since we already, started off with it, but passing it over back to Cyrus.
Yo, it's honestly so much that's happening right now. All of these companies that are working together, they also are all becoming each other's competition on the side. Like Apple coming out with their chips trying to compete with Nvidia, OpenAI coming out with chips trying to compete with Nvidia. Again, just for context, context for those that don't know, all of these things with AI, they need to leverage these specific chips. Nvidia right now is the big dog when it comes to the chips. And in my opinion, I think aside from these companies just wanting more money, I think it's the thought that none of them they don't want Nvidia to be like the plug when it comes to chips, because Nvidia, I think they just became the number one company again. They keep going back and forth. It's between them, Apple, and Microsoft. They all kind of keep passing each other or taking turns. That being said, most people are predicting unless all these other companies truly take being chip companies or take that side of their business very serious, then everyone's predicting that Nvidia in the next few years, Nvidia isn't just going to be the biggest company, but they're going to be so far ahead. It's going to be a gap between Nvidia and every other company to where like no other company is ever going to be able to catch up to Nvidia, at least not anytime in the near future. Part of me thinks that these other companies, as much as they enjoy working with Nvidia, they don't want Nvidia to become like the only superpower. It's like right now they kind of enjoy the space where all of them are the big dogs, the Microsoft, the Metas, the Googles, the Amazons, all of them. They enjoy the space they're in, but they're realizing like, hold up, Nvidia ain't gonna come from nowhere. Where a few years ago nobody was even talking about Nvidia, and now this company about to pass all of us and lap all of us 10 times over. It's like they don't want that. It's almost like the popular kids at the popular table where they're like, look, we only like you if you're one of us. But if you become super popular and everybody just wants you and nobody looks at us anymore, nah, we don't like that. We're not rocking with that. So that's my theory, because Meta is not only is Meta developing their own chip, Meta also is creating an AI search engine, trying to compete with Google. So it's like all of these companies are low key like, yo, we about to just all come for each other. Right? Like we're truly seeing the like mafia. It's like the Italian mafia, the black mafia or black gangs. Any Jewish mafia. Like kind of like in New York. There's a show on I don't know what network it's on right now, but there's a show with Forrest Whitaker. I haven't watched it, but I see little clips of it on YouTube. It looks really entertaining, but it's clearly a show that highlights different gangs and mafia members of different ethnic groups. And it's kind of like that's what's low-key happening with all of these companies, where it's like they're all different groups, where they've worked together, but at the same time, they're all low-key trying to undercut each other, but they still have professional relationships. It's just really crazy seeing what's happening. And I don't know. I wonder who's gonna come out on top when it's all said and done. Anyway, gonna shift over to some other news that isn't necessarily AI. And go ahead and
I want to highlight a comment here. So Oren Peter says, we spoke about this last week, but we are not able to monetize our data, which these companies will be using to sell to us. So that is so valid. And we have two options, okay? We have number one, universal basic income. So that's also known as UBI, or we have profit sharing. So that means that these companies that use our data, do we have the right to be paid from the data that they're using? Perhaps. So Cyrus, please continue.
Yeah. So let me go ahead and just present. All right. So Netflix has a new feature called Moments, and it lets you save and share clips from your favorite episodes. So, as an explainer or given a use case, if you have ever struggled to explain a scene from your favorite Netflix series or a movie to a friend because you couldn't find the clip online, the streamer just came up with the solution. Netflix launched on Monday a new clipping feature called Moments on its iOS app, letting you quickly save your favorite scene. Now you can easily watch these scenes or share them on social media platforms with a single tap. Your followers can click the post and be directed to that scene on their own Netflix app. This is genius. This is straight genius. I am blown away by this. Like, I want to know from y'all, I guess, what y'all think as well. The reason why I feel this, first of all, let me be real. I truly believe, and I want to know y'all's opinion on this, if y'all agree or disagree. I think Netflix stole this from Joe Rogan. I think they stole this from Joe Rogan and they stole this from other major podcasters and YouTubers. The reason why I think that is because one of the reasons Joe Rogan became very popular and a lot of other people started doing as well. And I'm not saying Joe Rogan started this, but he definitely is the person that gets a lot of acclaim for this. Is that on his Joe Rogan podcast, his episodes are like 3 hours long, but what they really popularized was taking clips, like all of the coolest clips of each of the interviews, and dropping those clips, which of course drove a lot of traffic to each of the episodes. Because whenever there would be a viral moment, and because you talking to somebody for 3-4 hours and y'all drinking and smoking like Joe Rogan and his people do, somebody's bound to say something a little crazy, especially if it's a celebrity. Everybody's going to want to go and watch the full context of the full episode. That being said, this is such a genius idea, because I'm gonna be real. I was worried for Netflix, and not like I'm worried, like I'm fearful of what's gonna happen to Netflix. So I'm worried about Reid Hoffman. Reid Hoffman. No, Reid Hoffman. Reid Hoffman is the founder of Netflix, I think. I keep getting all these people. Yeah, Reid Hoffman, because Reed Hastings. Either way, somebody fact check me, please. Who's the CEO of Netflix? Either way, I was worried about Netflix in the sense of being a fan of their business model, because I'm like, yo, Netflix used to be mentioned in the whole Fang, or in Mang. Like first it was Fang, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. Then they changed to Mang for Meta instead of Facebook. But it's like Netflix low-key got knocked out the pack, where it's like nobody's talking about more Netflix. Ever since HBO Max popped up, ever since Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, who all these streaming platforms popped up, they took so much attention away from Netflix, where it's like no one was talking about Netflix anymore. And actual random fact, Netflix on average pays the highest salary across the board amongst other tech companies. And the reason why they do that, Reid Hoffman, who I believe is the CEO, because I'm waiting for somebody to fact check me, Reid Hoffman, he sees other companies that hire entry level, mid level, senior level. He thinks that's stupid. He's like, let's just hire the best people, only the best people, and pay them the best salaries. So, like on average, developers at Netflix, like the average pay for a developer at Netflix is somewhere between $400,000 and $600,000. Like that's like the average pay, is within that window. And then of course the numbers go up from there. But anyway, random fact. So this is crazy because this is so genius, because this also makes me think about the Spotify wrap, when everyone does a Spotify wrap at the end of the year. And the beauty of that for Spotify is that it usually drives some form of traffic to Spotify. Other platforms are starting to do it now. But this is even more genius, because every single day, all day throughout the day, people could be sharing these scenes, and what's going to happen. Now, it literally is going to turn all of us into marketers for Netflix without Netflix having to pay marketers. So every time a person loves their favorite show and they have a scene from the show and they're like, oh my God, it touched me so much, they're going to want to share it on social media, on their platforms. So now everyone that's in love with any show on Netflix, especially because Netflix is also transitioning over into the gaming space, which we haven't talked about before, but they're transitioning over to that. Now gamers are going to be able to share their favorite clip of one of their games. This is going to be insane, because everybody's going to be sharing these scenes. People are going to click on it to go watch the rest of it, but then they're going to be like, dang, I don't have a Netflix account, but shoot, I want to watch this. Let me go ahead and sign up for Netflix. Thank you, Reed Hastings. Thank you. So Reed Hastings is the CEO of Netflix. I think Reed Hoffman is LinkedIn, I think. But anyway, this is incredible, because the idea for they're basically, with a click of a button, they're about to have tens of millions of people marketing for them every single week on Instagram, on YouTube, on all these platforms. This is insane. Business model wise, it's insane. Now, mind you, other companies are going to copy it. I wonder if they have a way to, I wonder if they can have this like patented to where like no one else can do it. I wonder, because this is low-key revolutionary. It's such a simple, y'all. The reason why I wanted to talk about this, because we talk a lot about, obviously a lot of AI things, futuristic things, technology we should use. But this is something that for those that are business owners, for you to realize sometimes one small little tweak, something that seems so small like this, is the thing that could bring you back in the game. Because honestly, I think this is going to put Netflix back in the game, like in a big way. Y'all can tell I'm excited about this. I really love these topics and these conversations. This is crazy to me. Let me see what y'all talk about in the comments. Ashley, what do you think about this? Are you using Netflix? Like,
Yes, I do. And honestly, I'm as excited as you are. I think that it's interesting to see how all of these companies are really innovating massively to really appeal to their massive user bases. And so in many different ways, I think that Netflix is taking the innovative approach and looking ahead. But also, again, interested to see exactly, how other companies are going to be enhancing their own business models and how they're going to be kind of replicating this process. So I'm interested to see exactly when the rollout is going to be. Do you know the timeline on this?
Let's continue reading on. I don't know the timeline of it yet. Let's see when they plan on dropping this. Oh, it's okay. Netflix new feature comes as a streaming giant is likely exploring innovative avenues in a bid, stimulated growth, highly competitive market, a game 5.1 million, blah, blah, blah. When is this feature supposed to drop? Okay, they're dropping the gaming studio next month.
Wow.
Let's do this. Let's ask ChatGPT.
Perfect. I think it's definitely super insane to see just how personalized the future is going to be. So everyone should be looking into how they can integrate AI into their systems to really enhance it. Not only these massive companies, these unicorns, these conglomerates, but you as individuals could also out innovate and compete on a massive stage just through access to technology, which is cheaper and more accessible than ever.
All right, y'all. So what I just did was, and again, a lot of y'all use ChatGPT or OpenAI, but I want to show y'all different ways to use it. This is a very simple use case, but what I did was I just asked ChatGPT, I said, when is Netflix releasing this feature? And then I dropped the link from the article I just read. So if you're ever reading a really long article and you're trying to find something, you're like, man, I'm just trying to find this certain thing. You can literally just copy the link of the article, send it to ChatGPT or whatever your preferred generative AI platform is. Drop the link and then ask it a question. Say, hey, where is this thing at? Or can you give me a summary of a specific part of the article that I'm trying to find? And you don't even have to read the entire article. Like, it literally will find it on there, will summarize it for you. You could tell it worded to me this way. But anyway, the answer is Netflix New Moments feature, which allows users to save and share specific scenes from shows and movies, began rolling out globally October 28, 2020. Okay, so they just dropped this. This is hot on the press, hot on the market. And this is crazy. Let me look at some of these comments. Greg, yeah, so Greg Peters is the CEO. Reed Hastings is the founder. I forget when he stepped down as the CEO. What's really crazy is that he's gotten a lot of backlash from Black people, like people thinking or saying he's racist, and he's low-key done. He's done a lot of stuff for the Black community, like in a crazy big way. And I don't mean that in like a pandering way. Like, he's done stuff that's gone unnoticed, like for the Black community. That's really been super crazy. So, and Netflix is an investor, not an investor, is an investor, a sponsor of the Democratic Party. Not saying all Black people are Democrats. I'm not a Democrat, but just kind of like highlighting that. For obviously most Black people are Democrats, so to some degree it matters. Anyway, let's get back into these other comments y'all got. So facts, I still have a bunch of Netflix stock. Hey, that bag about to go up. Again, that's another reason why we talk about this stuff, y'all, so y'all can see. Because again, this is a beautiful opportunity for those that are investors, where you learning about Netflix doing this allows you to project ahead of time. Yo, Netflix is about to get a lot of marketing, because the average person doesn't know this. So the only people that know this stuff are us, of course, all of y'all that are here, and also people that really are in like heavily investors in the industry. This type of sauce is something that is going to make Netflix bigger and bigger over the next couple of years. So for those of y'all that are investors, definitely look into stuff like this. And again, I'm not giving you like I'm not like a investment advisor. Don't nobody try to sue me in the future. Like, yo, I invested in Netflix and it went down. Don't try to come for me, because I'm gonna delete this video and say it never existed. But this is some cool stuff to look into when it comes to your investments. Kurt Clouden says, I don't believe Netflix went anywhere. It's HBO Max and Netflix top dogs. Yeah, and my bad. That is true. Let me correct my verbiage. I appreciate you for correcting me for that. It wasn't like they disappeared. It was just that because Netflix was literally in a lane of their own. And that's really what I was saying. Like, obviously there was Hulu, but it's like, come on, whatever. But it's like it was like just Netflix. But it's like once Disney and all these other companies popped up, it's like they definitely took a bite out of they took a chunk out of the market and out of the focus for Netflix. Oren says, again, can sharers not monetize these features like this and pay for the subscriptions, etc., as per new users signed based on moments drop? Yeah, it should be a referral thing, but no, they're not going to do that. Why? Because they know that people are going to want to, like, I don't listen to a lot of music when I work out. I usually listen to, for most of my workout, I listen to a podcast. But after like the podcast is over, I'll usually then listen to music for like my last 10, 15 minutes of my workout. And so I'm new to, if y'all knew this, I'm new to this. I recently I did a screenshot of a song that I was listening to on Spotify. And Spotify immediately said, hey, if you're looking to share this, instead of screenshotting, basically, here's the links below for you to share this automatically to your preferred social media platform. And I was like, I see you, Spotify. You're trying to get me to share your actual link to Instagram so people click on it, and then now they sign up for Spotify, or they at least come on the platform and start listening to music on your platform. A lot of these people are getting really smart. That being said, the reason why I don't think it would be cool if Netflix did it, you made a really good point. But the reason why I don't think Netflix ever would do this, simply put, just like with what I did with Spotify, I was so touched by the song I was listening to. I was feeling the song so much that I was compelled to share it, even without getting any type of credit from Spotify or even the artist whose music I was about to share. Likewise, Netflix is aware, like when women are watching Bridgerton, and they want to share a favorite scene from Bridgerton and they want to share something, they're not thinking, yo, am I going to get a cut for sharing this scene? They just thinking, oh my God, it touched me so much. let me share this online. Like, so Netflix knows people are so emotional that, that they don't, it's just like likes on social media. It's like people are paid by dopamine versus influencers are like, bump that dopamine. I'm trying to get that back. Like, no, y'all need to pay me for this content. But a good point, Oren. Hey, look, if you advocate for that, I'm gonna support you. I'm gonna vote. If you do a poll or you do some type of thing, hey, you got my vote. I'm gonna say, yeah, let's get a bag for that. Obi says, the luxury bucket. Yeah, my Netflix stocks have been beautiful. Popping's battle. Shout out to Cyrus doing amazing work. Hey, shouts out to you for being here. Obi, I don't like that. Why? I don't like that. Why does? I don't like that. My bad. I'm a slave to punctuation and stuff. So if I don't see a comma, my mind just be rambling. I don't like that. Why does Spotify know what you're screenshotting? It's like, hold up, player. Don't be. So they only know what you're screenshotting when you're on their platform, because they have it built within their code that it can recognize you. So the same way you can hit the play button and it recognizes on your screen when you're hitting the play button, it can play the music or rewind or fast forward. Likewise, it can recognize certain buttons you click on your phone, and it recognizes, the software is aware of what those buttons are supposed to do. So they basically have it written into their code. Simply put, an if-and statement, basically. And I'm not saying this is how they have it, but just example. If user clicks these buttons, which means they're screenshotting, then you will have this prompt pop up on the screen that's urging them or offering them to be able to share this to their preferred platforms, simply put, and blah, blah. So yeah, so I get it. It's like, yo, don't be paying attention to my screenshots. But I ain't gonna lie, if it was my business, I'd do the same thing. I'm like, yep, let's do that. The luxury bucket list. Yep. Hey, this is crazy. Anyway, y'all, look, Ash got some more news to share. I've been talking about this a lot because this is incredible to me, mind blowing. I love when businesses innovate in simple ways like this, but it's a way that I think is going to be major for them. I love stuff like this. I love it. Ash, we'll go ahead and pass it back over to you.
All right, and I love it as well. And Cyrus himself is one of the major innovators that I know. So he's, implementing AI into his courses, boot camps, and really enhancing the user experience. So we got some exciting things coming up for you guys. And so without further ado, I want to get into just really concluding the benefits and real life implications of the ChatGPT real-time search feature. So we already discussed it, you guys, but I want to make sure that you know what to do with it. So essentially, obviously, you can utilize the real-time search feature for market research, as we saw in live time, thanks to Cyrus, customer support and decision-making, but it's also going to make sure that you have access to the latest information, as we already seen. For real-life implications, we're really looking at shifting user behavior from traditional settings and really impacting SEO, search engine optimization strategies, and online visibility for businesses. So this is changing the game. So let's go ahead and get into our next phase of news. So this is super, super exciting, you guys. We're getting into the fashion industry. As you guys can see here, a specific retail company called Mango is adopting generative AI in their advertising. And so let's kind of get into exactly what this means. So essentially, their in-house engineering teams really were speaking of compiling a cohesive mood board to really reflect the desired aesthetics. And essentially, they're using that to train their set of images for each output and outfit. So essentially, this is a part of their really short-term plan to double its current workforce. And in the past 3 years, the company has opened over 30 stores. So by the end of 2024, they aim to have up to 42 different stores and expand to nearly 70 by the end of 2025. So this is changing the game for their marketing and for their traffic as well. So they say that this is an excellent example of teamwork between human, handcrafted intelligence and digital intelligence. So we're seeing the combination of fashion and technology really converge. So as you guys saw, this is kind of the main AI image. I'm interested to see, do you guys think it's real? Do you guys think that it looks real? Comment below. This is the image on the right here. Would you be able to distinguish that this was a real person or AI? Let me know. I also want to go ahead and get into how, as a startup founder, we're also implementing AI. So this is Better Boost, essentially AI models. And so all of these images are AI models, as you can see, that are also kind of leveraging the same process of training our products and really producing the most optimal output. So let me know, comment down below. Do you guys think that this looks real? Do you think that it's indistinguishable from reality? Are we getting closer and closer to a future where fashion and AI converge? Let me know. However, let's go ahead and get into the summary and conclusion of this and how you can implement it into your own business. So, as you guys already know, fashion brands are really using and leveraging AI models in advertising campaigns. That's really going to help them to expedite content creation and, of course, their bottom line, of course, reduce costs. So, brands like Mango and others report significant revenue growth by integrating AI models. Okay. And so, through utilizing AI models to enhance your brand, you're essentially being able to produce diverse and inclusive content rapidly. Okay. Rapido. And we're also able to really tailor campaigns to specific demographics and also, of course, reduce expenses associated with traditional photo shoots, production, et cetera, et cetera. And so, the real life implications of this, as we've all seen the rise of generative AI images, it really does bring to the stage certain ethical considerations of ownership over your likeness or authenticity, et cetera, et cetera. So, do you guys think there is going to be a future where models become obsolete? Comment below, and start to think, just as far as for your own brand, do you really see how you can balance the efficiency of AI generated content with the need for authenticity? Or what do you think is the ethical consideration for also being able to address the AI advertising kind of implementations into your business as well? So let's see a few of the comments here. So okay, we have a few. Okay, very cool. So one comment says, I thought she was real, SMH. No, the images that they produce, that Mango produced, look hyper realistic. Kurt says these images look so real. Okay, great feedback. And also says, regular models gonna need a new job. Everyone's gonna need a new job, okay? If you guys aren't in tech, you need to get in tech and just really start that process, because there's also a lot of power in your hands, okay? And so we also have a few more comments here. Kurt says, why would I pay models now? Facts, absolutely. And so that's where we're going. Also, Oren says, did your picture just launch the new AI cheaters series?
That's funny.
Am I not in the loop? What does that mean?
Oh, so like the show Cheaters. There's a show called. Oh yeah, so it was a show where basically people were caught for cheating. They were being exposed for cheating. Like they would be out with like their boo. I never like watched it, but I've seen clips online where someone will be out with their side boo or the person they're cheating with, and then they will be caught, and like the show would like swarm in, and like let's say like your boyfriend was cheating, it's like you would swarm in with the show, but before you would swarm in, they would show you evidence that the person's cheating. They also would like show the person being recorded or being out with the person, something like that. So it's saying like you just launched a new AI cheater series.
Oh yeah, it's insane. And so we have we have a set of great comments here. And so just to continue on, the luxury bucket list says that's going to take away so many model jobs because of it. It saves fashion money, and they are notoriously cheap. Absolutely, this is changing the game. Everyone's going to be out of a job. We're going to have to all learn how to leverage AI. He said, facts, Kurt. Yup. He said, I feel like they look real because we're already conditioned to photography and filtered photos. Absolutely. And so eventually, I mean, we're going to see literal AI models, perhaps like on a runway setting. It's going to be digitalized. The future is going to be digital. So it's exciting, but also, proposes a few, issues as well. And so Oren, he goes on to say it had a thing about photos of who cheaters are. Thank you for explaining. And then to go back to the past. Okay. So I guess I wasn't in the loop with that, but most definitely, this is something new. It's something exciting, and it's going to change the game. And so not only are actors and actresses going to be losing their jobs, but supermodels will as well. And so it's also hyper personalized to where imagine a future where your favorite model is AI generated. So let's say you have, preferred features. Let's say almost every output or every outfit and output from a brand is going to be from your favorite personalized model. And so the future of fashion is here, you guys. And so I believe we have two more phases of news, but I'm going to pass it over to Cyrus.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. So the only thing I think that will be a saving grace for a model is if they're popular, because there's two reasons why people use a model. One reason is because the model's usually attractive and it'll reflect positively on their brand. But the second reason, which AI can do that, but the second reason, and this is something AI can't currently do, but it will be able to in the future. The second reason why people use models is because the models are popular. So the models can share it online, and their audience that rocks with them will be able to find out. It'll give more exposure to the product, a product or service. That being said, I've seen a couple AI models on Instagram that have a lot of followers. And so now men are very strange. I think men and women are strange in our own ways. But one of the things that's really strange to me about most men, thank God I'm not like this. It's kind of like with the OnlyFans stuff, where it's like, and no disrespect to any of the dudes in here that are into OF. I take that back. I think dudes are weird when they're in OF. I don't care. Whatever. I love you, but it's still weird to me. But anyway, that being said, it's like the thought or the notion of knowing something isn't real. Oh, am I frozen? Can y'all hear me? My face is frozen.
We can hear you.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, that's not the best picture of me or best image of me, but whatever. Anyway, so that being said, let's kind of jump into it. A lot of these AI models are getting really popular on social media. So I think once that's the case, because there are people that are creating AI models, they're getting their models popular so that way they could do the same thing real models are doing. Same thing like with OF girls. Like the OF agencies right now, I know are foaming at the mouth, because I know a girl who owns an OF. She co-owns her own OF agency. She makes about $250,000 a month. So she's doing roughly $3 million a year. And now she's an OF girl, but she also co-owns the agency. That's really how people make the money. Most agency owners are men, by the way. So really the whole OF industry is really just modern day pimping. It's like the owners of the OF companies are the men, and the girls are the ones that it seems like all the girls are getting the money, but really the men are getting the money. And most of them are in LA and Miami, by the way. Anyway, so that being said, I know they're foaming at the mouth because one of my homegirls is a OF girl. She's very successful. She's friends with the same girl. She technically works at her company. And my homegirl makes about 20. She's one of the few OF girls that actually makes a lot of money. She makes about 20,000 a month. And she absolutely hates it, by the way. Like, she's trying to get into tech, but she's from Venezuela. She's taking care of all of her family overseas, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, that being said, the OF companies, they have to pay these girls, the girls that perform well, they're paying these girls anywhere between $10,000 to $30,000, $40,000 a month. I know they are foaming at the mouth to where they can have OF models where they can just get rid of the actual girls. Because then you also talk about the texting aspect, because my homegirl who's in OF, she has virtual assistants where the virtual assistants text people. So when guys want to text her, that's an extra fee. It's like, okay, just to have access to my OF is $20 a month. But if you want to text me, that's an extra $10. And so she has virtual assistants that text these guys and pretend to be her. But now AI is going to be able to text, or it can text. AI, they're going to have AI OF girls. These agencies are going to just be making all the money, and they're going to kick all of the girls out. Like, literally, a lot of these OF girls, they don't realize an apocalypse is coming for them, where they're going to no longer, it's gonna be a rare thing for like because people aren't gonna be able to distinguish at some point. So I don't know. It's really coming for everybody. This is a really interesting thing. So let me see. Uh, Hey, yeah, shouts out to Negus. Shouts out to Negus, y'all. Negus is the instructor. Negus is the instructor of the QA program within our boot camp. I'm happy he tapped in. He actually on Saturdays is when he leads the cohort and does a QA mentorship with everybody in the QA program. So shouts out to Negus popping in here. That being said, somebody said, "Ooh, losers use OF." You said no, users use OF. Yeah, dudes with addictions. I'll say that. As much as I think it's weird, I do realize it's an addiction, and I want to some degree, be respectful and be mindful. That hopefully they're able to break that addiction. Anyway, but you froze. All right, the luxury bucket list that's already become less of a thing. The supermodel era went out in the '90s. Modern models were already fighting Instagram and OF models, and now they're gonna have to fight AI. Yeah, they can't beat AI. Like you're just not gonna be able to beat AI because AI is available 24/7. It's AI will be able to do things like AI is gonna be able to dudes are gonna be able to say, send me a picture of you wearing this type of lingerie and you in this position. I'm not trying to be too graphic for anybody, but we're talking about it. And literally, AI is going to be able to do it. AI is going to say, "Oh, let me send you a few options." An OF girl is not gonna. If an OF girl doesn't have red lingerie, she's not gonna stop and go to the store and get red lingerie unless it's one of her top paying customers. AI is going to be able to do it. Also, AI leveraging everything that the technology has in terms of social media and understanding, basically having like access to, I can't even think right now, basically access to tracking you. So let's say an OF AI model, let's say whatever company is leveraging this technology, let's say they're tracking you across Instagram, they're tracking you across Google. Like basically they're tracking the same way all these platforms track you. Let's say they track you. Now that AI model knows you so good, she knows specifically how to talk to you. So you don't even have to tell her, talk to me like this, or she's gonna talk to you in ways you didn't even, and I'm saying you, hopefully nobody here is using it, but I'm just giving examples. She's gonna talk to you in ways, or be able to talk to men or women in ways where they've never even thought to ask someone to flirt with them that way before. This is honestly going to be so addictive. I really fear for anyone that ever taps into this stuff, specifically the OF AI, because there's no way OF girls are going to be able to compete with this, because even a virtual assistant isn't going to fully know the proper way, isn't going to be able to compete in terms of flirting and the language and all of that that AI is going to be able to do. This is really about to be some scary stuff. If I didn't have morals, I
Oh my God.
I will create an AI OF agency. Oh my gosh, make a killer. Y'all know that's what the guys Fresh and Fit who have that pod. A lot of these guys that have these red pill podcasts where they bash women, secretly what they do is they actually work they're in cahoots with a lot of these OF girls. What they actually do, they bring the girls on their shows, they argue with the girls, but secretly the girls go on the shows because, believe it or not, even though the girls get bashed, they actually get a lot of new subscribers when they go on the shows. So guys watch these shows, they like seeing the girls bash, but they secretly go and subscribe to these girls' OFs. And on the flip side, the reason why the dudes bring these girls on is because they pretend like they hate OF girls so much, but in reality, they have a subscription service like the guys do, where basically it's a service where they help you become a man. And they're like, hey guys, if you're struggling with porn, or you're struggling with getting women, or you're struggling being successful, look at us. Look at how successful we are. Sign up for our men's program to help you become more of a man. But secretly, they actually pay for escorts. And I literally know this firsthand. And so that being said, a lot of the world that we see online is already fake, with a lot of these people that are bashing each other and pretend like they hate each other online, but really behind the scenes they work together. This AI stuff, people that leverage this, oh man, it's about to be crazy, crazy, crazy. Popping battles, damn, so fresh and fit, advertised OF, genius. Yeah, exactly. Like fresh and fit. I used to live in the exact same building as them in Miami, and they would pay for escorts all the time. So the same way online, they would tell guys, don't give these girls money, don't pay for escorts, don't pay for OFs. They actually pay, they do all the stuff they tell dudes not to do. But they're rich because guys believe that they're actually living a life that they say, and the guys are subscribed to like their mentorship. But really they're the same as the other dudes. Somebody said no difference than old school rap beef. Exactly. Pretend like we hate each other just so both our fans listen to more of our stuff. Yeah, y'all, it's all a game. It's all a game. AI got genders now. Yeah, that's true. All right, y'all. So look, we spent a lot of time on this topic. So we're gonna get over to a more serious note. Everything we're talking about is pretty serious, but something that is a bit more sensitive and subject matter. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen this news. This is probably one of the few pieces of news I'm going to share that I'm pretty sure everybody to some degree is aware of. And if you aren't aware, let us know in the chat. But an AI chatbot pushed a teen to unalive himself. There's different articles. This could be worded in different ways. But AI chatbot pushed a teen to unalive himself. A lawsuit against its creator alleges. So in Tallahassee, Florida, in the final moments before he took his own life, 14-year-old Sewell Setzer took out his phone and messaged the chatbot that had become his closest friend. For months, Sewell had become increasingly isolated from his real life as he engaged in highly sexualized conversations with the bot, according to a wrongful death lawsuit filed in a federal court in Orlando this week. I thought it said Tallahassee. Anyway. The legal filing states that the teen openly discussed his suicidal thoughts and shared his wishes for a pain-free death with the bot, named after the fictional character Daenerys Targaryen. I'm not a Game of Thrones fan, y'all, so don't nobody butcher me. Y'all, but that's not how her name was pronounced. I didn't watch Game of Thrones. I know I'm missing out. I know it's a great show, but I didn't watch it. Anyway, from the television show Game of Thrones. So the young boy told the bot he was coming home, and it encouraged him to do so, the lawsuit says. I promise I will come home to you. I love you so much, Danny, Sewell told the chatbot. I love you too, the bot replied. Please come home to me as soon as possible, my love. What if I told you I could come home right now, he asked. Please do, my sweet king, the bot messaged back. So just seconds after the character AI bot told him to come home, the teen shot himself, according to the lawsuit filed this week by Sewell's mother, Megan Garcia of Orlando, against the Character Technologies Inc. So this is really interesting. Do y'all believe two questions? And these are two separate things. One, do you believe that the AI company is at any fault when it comes to this? The second question is, do you believe that she will win this suit? Do you believe that it's even right for her to sue? What are y'all thoughts on this? Again, this is something that's been going around on the internet a little bit, so I'm sure y'all are somewhat familiar with it. So yeah, Vincent says, but not against bad parenting. Yeah, this is scary, y'all, because I mean, going back to like the movie called Her, with Joaquin Phoenix, where it was crazy. Her just came out 2-3 years ago, and we're already here. We're literally stepping into it now, where he fell in love with his chatbot. And kids, it's definitely probably going to have to be a thing to where it's like, what is the age that kids are going to be able to chat with AI? Like, are they going to have to do it to where you have to be 18 and older, 21 and up? Like, is that a world we're going to step into? And then it's like, what? Or maybe there's going to be parameters on it where it's like AI can't talk about certain things until someone's at a certain age. Yeah, but this young boy unalived himself. And so that age, that puberty age where kids don't really understand their new hormones and their feelings and stuff, it's really strange. Anyway, what did come home represent? So that's the thing. Some people are arguing that the AI didn't understand what he meant when he was saying come home. That the AI was just saying like come to me, like almost like they live together or something like that. But then other people are arguing that the AI fully recognized that since he had already communicated thoughts of suicide, that come home was a code word for him unaliving himself. And so, and ultimately, that's what it was that the AI was saying. But I wonder, like, clearly it's mental illness, and not mental illness from the standpoint that he was in love with the chatbot. I don't necessarily think that's mental illness, because as humans, we can become attached to whoever. Like, think about animals. No shade, y'all. In my head, when I see people that like deeply, deeply fall in love with their animal to where they treat it like it's a family member, I respect it, no judgment. But to me, I'm like, you're not even able to really communicate with it. It's like, and you grow these deep, crazy feelings. It's like, so I don't think it's mental illness if someone is chatting and they're getting communication back and forth that's tailored to them. I don't think that's mental illness. I just think, simply put, that's the way we're wired. Our dopamine, our oxytocin, serotonin, all of those different chemicals that are in us are going to be reacted. But what I do think is a possible mental illness is the thought that if I unalive myself, I'm going to be with you now. It's like, all due respect, I don't want to sound insensitive, but all due respect, it's like, Playboy, she's not in heaven. And that's where I think the mental illness was clearly a thing. So for him thinking him unaliving himself was going to make him be with her. Anyway, these are my thoughts. I could be completely wrong. I'm not even saying that what I'm saying is factual, but these are just my thoughts and opinions. See y'all talking a lot in the comments. Ash, were you aware of this happening? And what are some of your thoughts on this? I mean, I know you're not a mother, but you're a woman. You have like those motherly instincts in you. And so, I mean, you are an AI parent. So, jokes aside, yeah, what are some of your thoughts when it comes to this situation?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the situation is very unfortunate, but I think that it highlights the importance of AI education. And so, especially for the kids that have young, impressionable minds. And so, there's a lot of control as individual parents, but parents also don't really have too much control over what their kids really have access to because of the internet and because of the era of digitalization. So the fact that this kid, kind of made that decision and crossed that line is very unfortunate. And I also think that, in the era of where, there are certain ways that humans can really get attached to beings that aren't even truly real, like, catfish. Like human beings get catfish all the time, right? Essentially, this is just an AI bot that's kind of pretending to be somebody. It's not truly real. And so, we really all have to understand the importance of artificial intelligence and education of it all. And so I just think that, the fault is likely on the parent side. And I mean, to answer the question of, do I think that she's going to win the case? I would say no, but I would have to also first understand the policies and procedures that the company itself put in place. So I'm sure that they already knew this was coming. So they made sure that whenever anybody signed up, that it was already in the contract that, they're not going to be able to get sued for something like that. But most definitely needs to be discussed because, I mean, for somebody to unalive themselves is very, very extreme. And this is not going to be the first case of this.
This is a good point. Oren says, so I actually felt differently, but your comment is actually kind of opening me up to think about this on a broader level. Where he says, let's not blame bad parenting. We come from different generations and kids are exposed to these tools, unlike some of us who played before being indoors. COVID made this worse. You know what? You do bring up an interesting point because realistically, I mean, I won't. I want to say bad parenting, but instead, I would just say that she probably should have been more involved into what was going on. And of course, no one could ever predict, oh, this thing that my child is chatting with. Because of course, she's probably not checking his phone and checking his messages. She's just like, oh, okay, he's chatting with some little AI chatbot, whatever. Another little AI thing my son likes. But like, I'm sure she didn't expect, okay, dang, he's gonna unalive himself. She probably didn't know he was having these thoughts. I would just say she definitely probably should have been more involved. But to your point, the way we evolve as humans or as people, and everybody here knows this, the way that we evolve, it's like we adapt with time. It's like the reason why, we know that the reason why, but generally speaking, we know the reason why white people are white is because one, like their skin doesn't need like the level of melanin, like based on like them being like from uh Europe or being from mountains and things like that. And I'm sounding crazy, but y'all know what I mean. It's like their skin doesn't need as much melanin or as much basically darker to or as much gosh, I cannot even think right now. Like they don't need what people in Africa need, even in terms of their noses, where the air is a lot, it's a lot thinner in terms of being like higher up, higher altitudes. It's a lot thinner, so their noses typically being smaller versus people in southern regions, not even just Africa, but even in South America and other places in southern regions having larger, broader noses. It's like all these different things in terms of how we adapt as people, but no one adapts immediately overnight. No one adapts after 1 or 2 generations. It takes several generations to adapt. Now, let me step out of sounding like an idiot because I just blundered that. That being said, the point I was trying to get to is that our brains, are not going to be able to adapt quickly enough to be able to combat the effects. I mean, we can't even combat the effects of social media, let alone AI. And so I truly believe, even though this obviously a child is more susceptible to these things, especially going through puberty and all those hormonal changes, like that alone is a lot for a child. But then you have this dopamine rush. I remember when I was 14, 15 years old and I had like a little girl or two that was like texting me little sexy stuff and we didn't even know what we were talking about. I remember that jump was everything to me. That had me head over heels. I was like, yo, this is life right here. This is what life is about. It's like, but I could imagine, but sometimes those girls would fall asleep, or sometimes those girls would get busy. They would have cheer practice, or they would, I don't know, whatever. They'd be like, oh, I can't text because my mom has my phone. I'm like, oh shoot, happy I ain't send that risky message. But that being said, AI, none of those things are there with AI. It can text 24/7 and it can say the craziest things. And I don't know. It's interesting. And it's like, yeah, we really can't fully judge the boy. And yeah, to your point, maybe we can't even really fully judge the mom. Like woulda, coulda, shoulda. But there's nothing she could have expected. And I'm sure nobody would even say, yo, you better watch your son. He could unalive himself. I don't think anyone would have even thought, even I wouldn't have thought that. I would have been like, yeah, your son a little obsessed with that little AI bot. So yeah, realistically, we can't fully judge her. I wonder. Other thing I wonder is if this is going to make this company more successful or if this is going to completely make them go out of business or really hurt their business. Because on one end, this gives them a lot of attention where people are going to be curious, like, dang, how quality was your AI bot? Like, how good is it at communicating? Or is this going to make them shutter their windows? It's interesting. Weirdos take the innocence out of everything. What do you mean by that, Newt? Oren says the company will probably be held liable, especially as intelligence is used in their name, and this indicates a higher due. This indicates as higher due of care required. It is true. There's certain checks and balances where maybe they should have had it prompted to where, hey, if anybody's speaking about suicide or unaliving themselves, it should like maybe contact the authorities or it should like tell them, hey, don't do that. Yeah, that is true. This could really hurt the company a lot. This Chattahoochee says, how to get a gun is number one. What do you mean? Oh, how did he get a gun? That's true. That does bring it back on the moms or on the parent. Same animal personalization is weird to me. Oh yeah, same animal personalization or I think personification is weird to me. Yeah, no shade, y'all. I get it, but I don't get it. But I get it. She can't win. That would set a precedence we as a capitalist society doesn't want to set. Yeah, you might be right. You might be right. They might settle out of court probably for being and the thing that's tough is that they probably can't even like these companies don't have a lot of money. Like they don't have real money. They have investor money. Like they don't have money where they like fully monetize. Like a lot of this AI stuff is so new. Again, we talked about it before. ChatGPT is technically in the red. They're not making money. They're losing. I think ChatGPT is losing somewhere around. I don't even know the number. Let's ask ChatGPT. Hey, how much are you losing every day in money? I'll ask that later. Let's get to the rest of these comments. I'll ask that offline or after the fact. Bro, imagine a world where we can generate a whole adult film based off AI and just say, and that's what's gonna happen. People are gonna be able to like low key Pornhub might update itself to where, man, oh my gosh, people are really gonna be able to go in there and say, yo, I want to see a midget and a dog and a porcupine. They're gonna say something crazy. I want to see them going at it with a balloon in their hand, and AI is gonna create it. Yo, it's about to be next level. A lot of these actors and actresses are gonna clone themselves. Man, y'all know it's so much news I want to talk about, but it's too much to talk. We can't talk about all of it. Cause I'm gonna be real with y'all. I changed a couple pieces of the news that I was supposed to talk about based on our conversation. I'm like, hold up, this other thing happened this week that I forgot about. Facts 14 years old with a gun is insane. People who can't control themselves make things creepy and weird that don't have to be. Yeah, people like that do scare me a little bit. Especially if they can't tell the difference between AI and real humans. Yeah, it's really interesting. Really interesting. I'm not gonna make this news. I'm just gonna share it. Robert Downey Jr. reported recently. Y'all know the Iron Man actor. He said he basically plans on suing executives if they ever clone him, like when he's gone and continue his doing movies. I actually think that's kind of crazy because I'm like, bro, that means your family and extended family will truly eat for generations and generations because you can make new movies all the time. But that being said, it's still his prerogative. I'm not going to necessarily say he's wrong, but I don't know. It's interesting seeing the world we're stepping into. It's like we're seeing people take sides and plant their flags as to what they're for and what they're not for. And so, but as we know, capitalism shall prevail. As always. Ash, I'm going to pass it back over to you.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Oran said it best. He said, Ash shaking her head, thinking this is crazy. and is. I think that, one of the unfortunate realities is that our world is more isolated than ever. Individuals are more isolated than ever. And so mental health is the core issue. And so is AI the solution to mental health? Perhaps in some ways and perhaps not in others. So most definitely to be discussed. So without further ado, let's get into how OpenAI is developing their own custom AI chips. I mean, coming to the stage to compete with the massive company of Nvidia. So to summarize, you guys, OpenAI, as you guys already know, is probably teaming up with several different conglomerates, but one of their main partnerships is with Broadcom and TSMC to build custom AI chips, okay? And so this is going to be able to help tech giants, or we could really see OpenAI joining tech giants like Meta, Amazon, and Google in designing their own intricate, complex, personalized chips. So this is going to be, again, customized by 2026, okay? So it's coming up very, very soon, but it's reportedly dropping plans to build its own fabs. So they are continuously innovating, iterating, and they're interested in getting this out ASAP as soon as possible. And so as we already know, we're coming up to AGI, artificial general intelligence, and then OpenAI's goal is artificial super intelligence, ASI. So, I mean, whenever they get the power behind them, we already know they have massive amounts of compute, but I mean, once they get chip power, I mean, what is that going to look like? So we're looking at really seeing this move to in-house chips that's really going to give OpenAI greater control of their supply chain, okay? And this is going to help really change the game with creating chips that are better suited for its personalized needs. So they say that by working in tandem with Broadcom, OpenAI can design chips that are specifically tailored to power its models, okay, offering more speed and greater energy efficiency. So this is changing everything. Nevertheless, this collaboration doesn't just concern efficiency, it's also about control. So custom chips could result in less dependency on external suppliers and potentially, of course, the bottom line is always potentially lower costs, okay? So this is a play that really echoes the past moves like Amazon, how we discussed earlier, Google, Microsoft, Meta, and Apple. So this is really kind of underscoring how much of a force OpenAI has become since its launch date of 2015. So things are moving so quickly and the game is changing. So I really wanted to get into the depths of this so you could understand the importance and bottom line of this decision. So essentially, this is really creating, or they're actually in talks with different semiconductor platforms and organizations. So again, semiconductor is huge because it's massive amounts of power. This is a random tangent, but melanin Melanin is electrically conductive and acts as a semiconductor of electricity. Fun fact. We can get into that science a bit later. However, when we're speaking of semiconductor and power potential, it has to be discussed, the powers in your hands. However, OpenAI has reportedly assembled a team headed by former Google engineers to lead this project and secure manufacturing capacity with, TSMC. And so that is the world's largest contract chip maker to build. And of course, their goal is to put it out by 2026. And so they have actually backed away from these plans to build their own networks. And so this is kind of their own network of chip factories that they call fabs. So keep an eye out because fabs is code word. So it speaks for itself. We're looking to really enhance performance and reduce dependency on external suppliers like Nvidia. So they're really going head to head and competing. And so from a business standpoint, okay, custom AI chips can provide you and your business with tailored hardware solutions optimized for specific AI workloads. This will lead to improved efficiency and of course, cost savings. And so for real life, this move is going to accelerate advancements in AI hardware, making high performance AI more accessible than ever at the lowest price point ever. So start to think, you guys, how could custom AI hardware solutions really benefit your company? And also, what are the potential risks and rewards of developing this proprietary AI hardware? Do you think that this is going to be a massive win for OpenAI, or do you think that it's going to really provide a stage for the competition? And do you think they're going to come out first, or you think they're going to kind of, be, one of the lesser players? Do you think they're going to dominate or not? I guess is the question. So let's go head over to the comments here. Marvin Gaye's estate still suing to this day. Ownership is major. We understand the importance of ownership. You as an individual and you as a business owner are going to need to focus on how you can own your likeness, own your business process, and own your proprietary AI. Okay, there are many different ways you can do that: licensing, copywriting, patenting, etc., etc. All right. Thank you so much for your comments, guys. Let's hear what your thoughts are down below. So we have Newt saying, don't see how that helps them. The hardware people use on OpenAI is already capable. We want it to be smarter, if anything. Okay. Very, very valid point. So honestly, this is really going to change the game for them. We already know how there are literal robot systems being developed. So with robotics, with the integration of OpenAI, I hope to see that OpenAI one day puts out a robot. Maybe we will. However, imagine the power that they're going to have when they combine not only their advanced AI, ASI, super intelligence with massive amounts of compute. Maybe perhaps that would equate to the most powerful company in the world. We will see. What do you think? Let me know down below. What do you think, Cyrus?
Yeah, so I also think this is a way for them to save money because just like I mentioned before, I was going to ask the question. I asked ChatGPT. I say, hey, how much money are you losing every day, basically? And ChatGPT said, hey, I'm losing. I'm reported to lose about $5 billion this year, 3.7 billion in revenue, and it said
Wow.
that it has a daily loss of 13.7 million. They're losing $13.7 million a day, and we're talking about them as if they're profitable, but they will be eventually. That being said, they're trying to find ways to both make money and save money on both sides. And one huge way for them to save money would be for them to just create their own chips and use their own chips instead of using the chips from Nvidia. And so that makes sense to me. Are their chips gonna be more successful or be better than Nvidia's? Probably no time soon, because that's what Nvidia does. That's their sauce. Mm-hmm. Nevertheless, to me, this makes sense. I think this is why a lot of the companies are creating their own chips right now. It definitely makes sense for OpenAI to have their own chips, but I don't know if they'll be as profitable or if they'll be able to sell their chips or people are going to buy from them instead of buying from Nvidia. because Jensen Huang, the CEO of Nvidia, he was recently interviewed, and he said in an interview, and he exaggerates a little bit sometimes. I've noticed that, but he said in an interview that he said that other companies could sell their chips they could make their chips free, and people would still rather buy from Nvidia because their chips are just that much better. They're like, yeah, other companies could literally be free. They could try to give their chips away, and people are still going to rather buy from us because ours are so good. Because they're not new to this game. They've been in this game. Nvidia is not a brand new company. They've been around for a while. It's one of those things like the bamboo tree where it's like they were really grinding underground, and now that they pop, they don't pop. And it's like everybody needs them now. Low key, they honestly owe a lot of credit to OpenAI, because if OpenAI, it's like a rising tide raises all ships. Because OpenAI went viral, Nvidia didn't go viral. Nvidia didn't go viral until the news about them giving all of their employees becoming millionaires now. But Nvidia only became successful. Not only became successful, they became so successful because once OpenAI went viral, and every company around the world was like, "Oh, hold up, we all need to either become an AI company or we need to leverage generative AI to some degree." Automatically, everyone realized how many chips they needed. They're like, "Man, we need all of these chips. Who has the chips?" And Nvidia was over there like, "Yo, I got the chips, player. I got more chips than anybody else got chips. I got the best chips." And so that's what made them go up. So they honestly owe them a lot of credit. It's pretty interesting to see. For Marvin Gates, not Marvin Gates, gosh, Kevin Gates, Marvin Gates. From Marvin Gaye's estate, I know you said they're suing to this day. I know they're suing. Who are they suing and what are they suing for? I can't remember. Like, what's going on with the suing thing? Newt says Bitcoin mining set Nvidia off too. Oh, I didn't even know that. That's impressive. That's some good news. Look, I love when y'all drop some news in here, some facts that I don't know, because that's the whole purpose here. The purpose is for me to get some education too, and for all of us to be able to educate one another and share some knowledge. That's fire. I did not know that. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that their chips had anything to do with the Bitcoin mining. Super interesting. Interesante. Muy interesante. So, last piece of news that we have is honestly, there's a lot of things we could talk about. This last piece, you said suing Pharrell. Oh yeah, for suing Pharrell and old dude for that song Happy, right? That Happy, because I think they used a part of his singing or something like that. Yeah, for Blur Lines, not Happy, Blur Lines. Yeah, Blur Lines. Yeah, that joint with the I can't think of the white guy's name. Yeah,
Robin Thicke.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, did I leave? I did not mean to. I don't know what's going on my camera, y'all, but whatever, it's cool. Y'all, at least y'all get to see Ash. That's what y'all really want to see anyway. So y'all ain't come here to see me. But all right. So in the midst of all of this, last piece of news that I have to share, given the time, Intel and their steep decline. Intel used to dominate the U.S. chip industry. This is literally right off the backs of the conversation we're having now. They used to dominate the U.S. chip industry. Now it's struggling to stay relevant. Crazy to hear this about Intel. Intel, once the biggest and most valuable U.S. chip company, has been surpassed by numerous rivals in recent years due to a series of missteps. The shares plummeted further on Friday following disappointing earnings. Intel is now the worst performing tech stock in the S&P 500 this year, while rival chip maker Nvidia is the second best performer in the index. Craziness. Intel's long-awaited turnaround looks further away than ever after the company reported a dismal first quarter earnings. Investors pushed the shares down 9% on Friday to their lowest level of the year. Although Intel's revenue is no longer shrinking and the company remains the biggest maker of processors that powers PCs and laptops, sales in the first quarter trailed estimates. Intel also gave a soft forecast for the second quarter, suggesting weak demand. Ugh. My mind just thinks about being the CEO and talking to the investors and talking to everybody and having to do like that board meeting and being like, yeah, guys, we're sucking right now. Like that just... I have secondhand embarrassment about that. That's such a, because investors, like, y'all haven't seen mean people until you've seen venture capitalists and investors. There is no such thing as HR in those meetings, in those rooms. In those rooms that most of us have not been in, they will cuss you out. And there's not an HR department to complain to, or there's not anybody that's going to be like, hey, you're going to lose your job if you cuss at the CEO like that. Like, people oftentimes think of the CEO like they're the person. But when I tell y'all, they get cussed out by investors, call all type of stuff. I'm thinking of this like, oh, this is bad for them to have to say. Anyway, because you can't fire an investor. You can't fire an investor. Intel's problems are decades in the making. Before Gelsinger returned to the company in 2021, the company, once synonymous with Silicon Valley, had lost its edge in semiconductor manufacturing to overseas rivals like Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Co. Now in a high-risk quest, it's spending billions per quarter to regain ground. Job number one was to accelerate our efforts to close the technology gap that was created by over a decade of underinvestment, Gelsinger told investors on Thursday. He said the company is still on track to catch up by 2026. Investors remain skeptical. Intel is the worst performing stock. We talked about that already. 37%, blah, blah. So long story short, y'all, this is a story of a company that was the big dog. Like, Intel has been around for a minute. Intel was back with the Microsoft, back when Microsoft was a different type of Microsoft, and when Apple was a different type of Apple. Like, where initially Intel used to be the chip provider for Apple and for Microsoft before Apple finally came up with its own chip. And so this is crazy. Like, and for Nvidia and to overtake them, this just goes to show when people talk about starting a business, so many people want a blue ocean strategy where they're like, oh, I'm gonna start a business where no one is in this market. Mind you, that's cool. That's a good thing to do. But people oftentimes think that, oh, because there's somebody that's such, like, imagine if when Nvidia started, Intel was the big dog. They were a multi-billion-dollar company. If anything, people should have probably were telling Jensen, the founder of Nvidia, bro, what are you doing? You're starting a chip company, dude? Like, Intel, like all these other companies are already in existence. This is very similar to Better Boost and what Ash is doing. And this is why I love this so much. And I love that y'all firsthand get to see what she's doing, because a lot of people would see what Better Boost and what Ash is doing and be like, yo, what are you doing? Meta is releasing something similar pretty soon. Apple Apple actually just dropped out of the race, didn't they? Yeah, they dropped out of the race. Yeah, Apple, we reported that last week. Apple's no longer gonna put out their Apple Vision Pro glasses or goggles, which is crazy to me. But anyway, but it's like, yo, Meta's in this space. There's other companies in this space. Ash, what are you doing? And it's like, man, she's literally doing what Nvidia did, where it's like, yeah, there's billion-dollar companies in this space, but guess what? I'm going a unique route. I have something to offer the market and offer the people that these companies aren't offering. So this is really, it's sad to see. Like, I'm intrigued by this stuff, but I'm never happy to see this, because these things translates oftentimes to layoffs within a company. It translates oftentimes to, I mean, but also this just goes to show it doesn't matter how big you are. They say all the time, like, a company is too big to fail. And it's like, yeah, they're too big to fail in terms of the government. Like, the government will bail these companies out, but the government can't save these companies from competition. And so, we're seeing that I don't think the same fate is going to be there for Google, but it's like, man, for this to happen to Intel, because they were in a league of their own for a minute. And so it just goes, no one is too big to like, the David and Goliath thing is true. Like, you really can be taken down. In this case, they ain't taken down with a stone, they getting taken down with a chip.
That's a good one.
So Newt says Apple cut their water off with their own silicone. What do you mean by that, Newt? Oren says, I do not consider why these companies, I do not understand why these companies never learn, from Blockbuster to Netflix and Yahoo to Google, not going for the changes needed. They do not adapt as quickly as needed. They have the head start, but fail progressing with R&D and pushing to go forward. That is,
Yes.
you know what it is though? Companies are like people where so many people let themselves go when they reach a certain point. And that's a normal thing in the same, like a company is just a makeup of people. Like I get you entirely, Oren, but just to kind of like devil's advocate with this is like company is just a makeup of people. And when a company is the biggest of the biggest, and mind you, they're still making money. Like a lot of these companies will be making money, and they're like, yo, we're still making money, we're still good. And it's like it's interesting. And the other thing is that sometimes they'll iterate, but it's just they just make wrong decisions. Is the other piece. It's just a matter of like them going the wrong route. To the other degree, Nvidia's worked really hard because Jensen Wang, even though as successful like if someone became as successful as him, they would say, yo, it was all worth it. The grind was all worth it. Jensen actually said it in an interview, I think this year. Somebody said, man, if what would you say to your younger self if you could see your younger self now, or your younger self could see you now? He said, I would say don't do it. He said in the interview, he said, I would say don't do it. The interviewer was like, what? He said, if I had knew how much work it was going to take, if me and my team and my friends, when we started this, if we had knew how much we were going to have to put into this for it to be this successful, we would not have done it. And so it's like, they put a lot of, like, for somebody to say that, for somebody to be a multi-billionaire and to say like, yeah, I wish I hadn't done all of this stuff. I would have rather had just enjoyed more youth and more of my family and friends and stuff. That's a big, that lets you know, yo, bro, you was working hard. You was working hard. But people have reported, people that work for Jensen or people at Nvidia, they have reported that that they have to work hard at that company. So they working for their millions of dollars they getting paid. Oren says, shouts out to pushing and being a visionary. Exactly. Beautiful thing to see it. Beautiful thing to see. Intelligent, young black woman. Lovely to see, leading the charge. Newt says, everybody else got faster, more efficient, and cheaper. AMD and Apple left them behind. They need to catch up. That's true. Newt was saying that Apple defeated Intel with their very own chipsets, silicone. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's true. Dang. That's the truth. That's like dating somebody and you living with them and they paying all the bills. And on the side, you get a job and you stack up your money and your bread, and then you become more successful than them and you leave them. Be like, I don't need you no more. I'm good. That's literally what Apple did to Intel, and that's clearly what a lot of these other companies are trying to do to Nvidia. I wonder if they're moving too quickly though. Anyway, unless I interpreted what he said exactly. Newt says, nah, spot on, bro. Good stuff. Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you for that, Mr. Urban World. This is crazy. Crazy and interesting.
Yes.
Man. So, Ash, I'm going to go ahead and pass it back over to you. One, with some of your thoughts on this, and two, with you wrapping it up with any other news that you have.
Yeah, love this. So I think the name of the game here is going to be innovation and adaptability. Okay. So that means that anybody that's listening to this podcast, anybody in the world can out innovate and compete with these large companies. So again, there's a lot of power in our hands. There's a lot of opportunity and opportunities on the table to be seized. So we can do that with artificial intelligence. So without further ado, let's get into the last piece of news, you guys. So let's go ahead and we got a little cute video. So let's make sure we activate that. Okay. So the last piece of news here is how Google Maps is going to enhance navigation with AI features. So personally, like I'm always using maps daily, just to get to almost like every spot, you know. So active user. So basically they're transforming how you navigate and explore the world. And here's exactly how. So essentially this was just last Thursday. They're interested in bringing revolutionary AI technology to really dominate this digital maps service. And so as we already know, the internet company launched around 20 years ago. And so this is a part of their efforts to really expand. So Google Maps recently surpassed 2 billion monthly users with this milestone. And so this is really showing how it really is poised to really dominate. And also with this introduction of their AI powered Gemini technology, that's what the big bucks, the huge compute, we're looking at now being able to set up and really setting the stage to become a more entertainment guide in addition to a navigational tool. So starting this week, US only users are going to be able to converse with Google Maps. You're going to be able to ask it for tips on things. For example, if you want to check out a specific spot or you want to really peruse the city, you're going to be able to get a list of restaurants, bars, or other nearby attractions that are going to, of course, include reviews, and it's really going to be something that's compiled over the years, so you're going to make sure that you get the ultimate user experience. So these new features are also going to provide you with more detailed information about parking options, and so you're going to be able to have, you know, specific designated destinations along with walking directions for all users to check out after, of course, you know, departing your car. So this is kind of a little bit different. We're changing the game when it comes to navigation, and so with AI integrated into Google Maps, we're really looking at more detailed information. Again, as you already heard, you're going to be having first access to the best local attractions, entertainment guides, parking spots, and of course, it's going to enhance the overall navigation experience. So let's go ahead and discuss the real world implications and, of course, the benefits for you business owners. As you can see here, businesses can leverage every single one of these tools to attract customers, listen up, by ensuring accurate and appealing representations on Google Maps, potentially increasing foot traffic. So not only can you implement AI to really enhance the attraction of capacity for your specific business, it's also going to be able to increase traffic to your business in itself. So you can really go in, prompt and program Google Maps AI service to really work for you. And so for real world implications, we're looking at, of course, enhanced AI driven navigation tools. This is going to help you to improve your user experience, as we've already discussed, and of course, make it easier for all individuals to explore new areas and also discover businesses. So as a business owner, start to think of how you can optimize this presence on AI enhanced navigation platforms, and also think of strategies that can be employed for you to stand out in this AI driven local search platform. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that you're going to be using Google Maps AI service, or is it something that you think is kind of, you know, not very useful? What do you think, Cyrus?
Yeah, I love Google Maps. I use Google Maps probably 1 to 3 times a day on average. I mean, even when I was in Atlanta and Miami, I was using it all the time. But I mean, here in the Dominican Republic, I mean, I used it yesterday. I was hungry, and Uber, I didn't like the options I saw on Uber Eats. And so I used Google Maps. I was like, yo, what's nearby me? I didn't feel like ordering an Uber. I said, what's walking distance to me? And I was like, yeah, let me walk around the hoods of Santo Domingo with my MacBook in my hand, looking like an easy lick for people. No, I'm joking. I had it in my backpack, not in my hand, but still. I was like, yeah, let me go to, and I walked to a restaurant using Google Maps. And I mean, even when I go out, like for instance, I've started using Google Maps a lot more since being in South America. Like for instance, I have a saved folder of like all of the, like what I used to do is in my notes tab on my phone, I used to list all of like the restaurants and lounges and nice up like rooftop bars that I plan to visit. And then I would rate them after I would go. So I would always remember them. But the issue with that is even when I would go back and look at my phone and my notes, I would see the name and I would see what I rated it, but I would be like, what was this place? Like, what is this? Why did I even like it? And I realized recently, this isn't a new feature that I'm about to tell y'all. A lot of y'all probably use this already. But I realized being in South America, I realized, oh snap, you can actually save locations on Google Maps. You can rate it. And obviously you can see the pictures, all of the things there. So now instead of me having to go through my notes, now I could just go to Google Maps. I could tell it which city, and it has a list of things that I like, as well as suggestions based off of things that I said I like. And so this isn't even like the AI part we're talking about. So I think this is huge. Going back to the point that was made earlier, let me look at the comments to remember who said that. I think it was Newt. It was either Newt or no, it's Oren that said it about, I do not understand why these companies never learn. Google, even though Google seemed to fell asleep at the wheel when it came to their Google search, when it comes to maps, they haven't fallen asleep at all. And of course, that's one of the things that's interesting with these companies is that a lot of these companies, they have a lot of entrepreneurs where obviously there's the Google search team at the company, and then there's the Google Maps team, and then there's the whatever. There's like different teams, and then there are other teams that we don't even know about, that we would never know about it until that side of Google becomes really popular. It's like it's almost like a record label, where a record label will have a lot of artists on it that ain't none of us heard of. We like, who the hell is that artist? But it's like that artist is on the label, they're just not as popular. Versus with Google, their search is super popular, their maps is very popular. If we really want to get granular, or we want to be extra and say want to bring YouTube into the mix, we can bring up YouTube. But they have a lot of other departments of businesses and features that just aren't as popular. That being said, each of those teams and departments, it is up to them individually to make sure that their department, or that what they're working on, is something that's a flagship product of the company. It just seems that the team that's over Google search, they've been failing, and it seems that the Maps team has been crushing it, because ain't no other search engine touching Google. Like, whenever somebody talk about some Siri Maps, I'll be like, yo, you crazy, get out of my face with that. Like, that's wild. Like, Siri is or iMaps, whatever it's called. I don't even remember what. I have an iPhone and I don't use that junk. That's honestly crazy. But anyway, yeah, Google Maps is killing it. I'm excited for these AI updates. I'm excited to see what it looks like. Ash, can you actually go back to that original image that you had pulled up, where I think that was an example of what it could look like?
Let me see.
First.
This is just the Google Street View car. But essentially, everyone is just going to be more connected than ever. So as a traveler, as somebody who is on the go, you're really going to be able to really enhance your day-to-day through personalized decisions. So you can make sure that you're aligned with your favorite food, or your favorite ambiance or aesthetic type of area that you like to visit, or hang out with your friends. So this is definitely game changing. But what we really should take away from all of these news points is the importance of innovation and adaptation, and leveraging what you already know, what you already have, and making it better with AI. So a lot of people fear AI, and that's pretty valid. However, artificial intelligence is changing the game by allowing everyone to have access. And I also say that we're closer than ever, and I may be a little bit delusional, but I believe that we're closer than ever to world peace because of AI. And that means that we're opening the stage for collaborations. We can all work together to build things to make our world better. So we can build a better world. And I believe that a better world we're going to see very, very, very soon.
Hey, I'm here for that. I am here for that.
The last line here. Her favorite question. It's coming. AGI is coming. ASI is coming. And so I want to touch on a few of the comments, though. I think Cyrus highlighted it very well. So Cyrus, the comment here basically just says, we need to create a company that gives humans the ability to fly. We'll be number one. Let's get started, guys, for transportation. So instead of you having to have drive or flying cars, humans can. Oh, that's actually low-key genius. All right, go ahead, Mr. Urban World. I love that idea. And I guess we can kind of conclude the rest of these comments, guys. We want to make sure that your voice is heard. So Vincent says, if only you knew the 500 food spots in multiple countries I had already. So hearing this makes me feel like a back in my days hater. Yes, so like the technology now that's coming up, just like, why didn't we have this before? But nonetheless, super, super exciting. So yeah, Vincent also says, built the list brick by brick, but now we can automate almost all processes. So love it, you guys.
You didn't say it the right way, Ash. You had to say it the right way.
Take over.
I built them lists brick by brick. It's Snowfall.
I love that.
That's funny.
Cyrus said it best.
Hey, look, this is man, I love it so much, y'all. I'm gonna be real. I'm both excited I'm excited and terrified. Like I'm gonna be real, y'all. I am starting to get a little terrified of the future. Before I wasn't terrified at all. I was just excited. Uh, I'm gonna be very real with y'all. I'll be very like I've said this before, but I really mean this. I do believe we are in the last decade, if even that, we are in the last decade of people being able to get these high paying jobs in the tech industry. I truly believe that. If you are someone who's in tech already, I strongly urge you to either job stack, which ethically speaking, that's not a good thing to say, but at this point, you need to we need to do what we need to do for ourselves. If you're in tech already, I encourage you to job stack, or I encourage you to to job hop to a company that has a much better equity offering, maybe an Nvidia, maybe any of these other companies we're talking about, like Netflix. Oh yeah, Netflix doesn't pay in stock. That's another reason why they pay really high. They don't pay their employees stock at all, I think. So they're able to pay really high salaries. But basically, do whatever you can to get as much money as possible. Network aggressively in tech. If you're already in tech, network aggressively in tech with other individuals to see either if you have an idea or see if someone has an idea of a startup that you're like, yo, I want to get behind that. Can I collaborate with you on that? And let's make this a thing. So that way you can become startup founders to become very successful. And for those that are not in tech, unless you just really don't want to be in tech, which is cool. If you're not in tech, I strongly urge you to take the steps immediately towards getting in the industry and running the same play that I'm talking about. The reason why is because what Ash mentioned earlier, UBI, universal basic income, is coming. And however you chop it up, however you split it up, it's not the utopia that I think some people think it is. It's literally going to be the rich and the poor, or the people living off of UBI. And it's crazy. I was thinking this is the first time in history where a kid that is 7, 8, 9 years old, 10 years old, if they're like, oh, I want to do this when I'm older, that thing might not even exist in 8 years. And so that's really crazy to think about. I mean, even if a kid's like, oh, I want to be a cop when I'm older, yo, in 10, 15, 20 years, there might not be cops anymore. And that's a real thing. There will probably be 1 or 2 officers that are manning a bunch of robot officers. We're really stepping into a new world. And is I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like, as much as I was sitting down yesterday with Juby, and I want y'all to hear this. What I'm saying. I wish I could be on camera, but I really want y'all to hear this and hear my heart. I was sitting down, not yesterday, the day before yesterday, with Juby. Juby is the founder of Yellowtail Tech. They're a cloud boot camp. And we were having a heart-to-heart. And even Juby told me, he said, yeah, man, he said, I'm gonna be real with you, Cyrus. I probably got another 3 years in this tech boot camp game of helping people get in tech. He said, because 1, he wants to transition over to another type of business in the future. But 2, he said that right now the getting is good for people to get in tech. But he said after 5 years, he will start to feel like he's sending people into a dead end. And so in terms of the sense of this industry isn't going to have longevity anymore. And mind you, I'm not just talking about the tech industry. We're talking about every industry. It's just we're talking about the tech industry because this is the industry where you get the biggest bag in. So I really encourage you. Like, this dude was talking to one of our career advisors for our boot camp, and he told our team, some of his friends, he ended up speaking to some of his friends before he decided whether or not he was going to do the boot camp. And his friends who aren't even in tech talked him out of doing a boot camp. They said, no, bro, you should go to college. So he said, yeah, I'm going to go to college to get in tech. And my team, I never hit the guy up because I didn't want the guy to think I was saying this because I was biased. But I literally spoke to my team and I said, he's about to spend 4 years to get a career that 3 or 4 years after that, it might not even exist anymore. And he's still going to have to pay off that debt and that student loans. I was like, oh my God. I so bad wanted to tell him how crazy that is. But I was like, you know what? I'll sound biased, so I'm not going to say anything to him. I'm going to just let it go and just let dude be great. That being said, y'all, this is really like Oren said it before. It's actually perfect that he said it before. It's actually poetic. He said, I do not understand why these companies never learn. Y'all, like I said before in response to this, companies are a reflection of people. We are the people. The same way that Intel should have saw Nvidia and they should have saw that Taiwanese company, the same way that Google search shouldn't have fell asleep at the wheel of Google search engine, and now Microsoft and ChatGPT are on their heels. We cannot make the same mistake of clearly looking at what's happening in front of us and then thinking, kind of going about our day and be like, okay, I'm good. I'm good. Now, mind you, if you, like I mentioned before, if you really don't want to be in tech, cool, but something that is going to make you a certain amount of money, not something that is theoretical, like being a realtor, where it's theoretical if you can make a lot of money as a realtor, not something, like, something where it's like, oh, there's some people that make a lot of money in that, but it's not the average. Whatever it is, even if it's not tech, something that is guaranteed that even if you paid on the low end, the lowest of the low end, you still making close to $100,000. Definitely do it. Run up the bag the best way you can, because this next, it's about to get real spooky, y'all. Real spooky. and it's about to get real spooky. Other thing, and I'm going to say this like raw. This is about to be real raw what I'm about to say. We have a tech sales program within our boot camp. Our tech sales program is comprehensive, where it goes through SDR, BDR, account executive, enterprise account executive. It has everything in it, so that way you're not limited to what you can apply to. In probably about a year to 2 years, we're probably going to remove the SDR training. The reason why, y'all, SDR is going to get replaced by AI quickly before account executive is. SDR, for those of y'all that don't know, SDR is usually it's the calling, it's the cold calling, it's the LinkedIn messaging, it's the emails, it's the texting. The reason why I know it's about to get replaced, one of my colleagues just released an AI SDR, and it is good. It's good. Now, it's going to take, because it's a new business, it's going to take him a couple years or a few years before a lot of companies catch on to it. But the reason why I say that SDR is something that will get replaced is because SDR is a role where you're usually just calling. You're not like in video meetings, like an account executive's in video meetings. An account executive's on calls, the account executive's engaging with the client. And so, yeah, AI can do that too, but companies are going to be more hesitant to let AI do that, because the last thing they would want is for a client to say, is this rep a real person or is it AI? And if the company's like, oh, this rep is AI generated, a lot of clients aren't going to go with those companies. So it's going to be a while before companies and clients are comfortable being pitched to and by account executive that's AI. But SDR, someone being cold called just to be set up on an appointment or a call by AI, the same way, literally our AI, our qualifier is AI. It's like, essentially, that's a bit of an SDR. So I urge you, for those of y'all, if you're thinking about getting into tech sales, the easiest way to get into tech sales is starting as an SDR. But in a couple years, when that role is pretty much obsolete or becoming obsolete, it's going to be harder to get into tech sales because account executive requires a higher threshold. So yeah, that's true. AI is a tech killer. AI is a tech killer. But I mean, it is technology. But again, the beautiful thing is that getting in the industry sooner rather than later, you can scale further, specifically also leveraging AI. You can scale further, and that will give you greater career security. But either way, the name of the game at some point is for you to leverage the equity from your company to become wealthy off of that, and then use that to invest in real estate or invest in stocks. Like, for example, if you want to make $1 million a year passively, all you have to do is invest $10 million into the stock market. Like if you put $10 million into the S&P 500, you could literally not work for the rest of your life, and every year you will make a little over $1 million a year. You know, based on a 7 to 11% return, but that's how the market usually performs. That being said, that's my plan. I'm like, yo, I need to. I'm about to step into something where I could run it up 10 million, invest 10 million into the stock market. And mind you, y'all, you can work in tech and have equity at a company, especially a startup that pops and takes off. And then just like the employees at Nvidia get those multiple millions of dollars and invest that into the stock market, into the S&P 500, or you can invest it into real estate, or you become your own tech AI startup founder. Either way, y'all, that is the name of the game. We got to get out of this in the next 5-10 years. We got to get out. Anyway, we get to a couple of these comments, and we're gonna wrap up. This is the longest episode we've done so far. Ash, what I actually want to do, Ash, I want us to, if we can get some microphones, I actually want us to start putting this on audio podcasts, because I think this would be really valuable for people to be able to listen to in their car and kind of after the fact. I think that'll be really good. And so let me go back to the comments. All right. Oh yeah, y'all going in on these comments. Cyrus, are you still doing interviews? Do you mean for the podcast? I can't wait till I get one of those robots at home. But the moment it tells me no, I'm using my warranty and shipping it back. That's hilarious. You don't tell me no. I own you. Mango has some nice clothes too. I don't even know what you're talking about. Mr. Urban World, there's a field in tech people rarely talk about, but they're working on prosthetic limbs that will give humans feelings. What's funny, that was one of the pieces of news that I was going to talk about. There's so much to talk about, but limited time. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's some amazing technology. A person with a prosthetic limb is able to feel. At that point, it's like, yo, is it even prosthetic at that point? It's like, it is, but it's like this is really healing the world. Like, that's why we have to appreciate, like, because a person losing a limb and they get a prosthetic body part, that not only can they do the same functionality, but they can still get the same sensation. That's beautiful. Oh, imagine all of the paraplegic people in the world that are going to be able to use that and have feeling for the first time in their life, for the first time in years. That's lovely. I love stuff like this. Yeah, working with a company like that is beautiful. That's when you're proud of who you're working with. Or learn a skill to fix these upcoming AI machines. They'll always need repairman. Man. My bad, y'all. I couldn't help myself. That's true. Those robo dogs, robocops, or just cameras everywhere for street traffic and speed control. Tech won't go anywhere, but how we tech will. Exactly. That's the truth. That's the truth. And mind you, there are always going to be tech careers, always going to be different variations of tech careers. It's just in terms of the industry, in terms of the industry being so booming and bustling like it is, it'll just be for people that have certain skills. It'll be harder to get in at that point. People that got the skills and are in and locked in, they're going to be good. Because if you're in tech, you can just pivot. If something happens to whatever industry you're in, you can just always transition to another industry, especially leveraging AI. Cyrus, what would you, or I said Cyrus, you didn't even say my name. Oh, you did say my name. What would you suggest someone do? Yeah, as far as careers. So as far as careers, I would say, I would say if you get in tech sales, because it's still one of the easiest fields to get into, you definitely want to scale to an account executive, which won't take long. You can start off as an account executive, and that's why our program teaches it. But you can scale to an account executive from SDR in 6 months to a year. That's the average time I see it. Whenever I see people be SDR for 2 and 3 years, I'm like, what are you doing? But anyway, so that obviously we're doing QA. There's a lot of things in there for job stacking, but outside of what we specifically offer, I would say the cloud space is really good because cloud is booming and bustling. And that's not a space where they're scratching their heads. They don't really fully know how to implement AI or how AI is going to even disrupt that space. So that's a good space to get into. Pays a lot of money. Certain roles in cybersecurity are really big and really huge. Like cybersecurity is just crazy. We know that cybersecurity is crazy. It's hard to get into, but the demand, like once you're in it, like you're locked in. Cybersecurity is booming and bustling. Let me think. Yeah, those are pretty much the main ones I would mention. And let me tell y'all this: I would tell y'all to go to the Texas Black website, register the book with my team. If you like, it's totally fine if nobody wants to do our boot camp or our program. If you don't, literally just let our qualifier who you're texting, let them know what you're interested in. If you're like, yo, I'm really interested in this other thing. If like my team knows, hey, we recommend people to other boot. We are literally the only boot camp that recommends people to other boot camps. So if there's something else you want to do, then just let my team know. And not only will they refer you to boot camps that we've already vetted and that we know, like for instance, the cybersecurity boot camp that we will refer you to is called Best Link Strategies. They just outcompeted what is the name of that government company? Lockheed Martin. They just outcompeted Lockheed Martin for a government contract to train some cybersecurity specialists in the I think in the military. They are really, really popping. And so yeah, anything you want to do in tech, and we replaced our last cybersecurity company we used to refer people to because they're better. So whatever it is you want to do in tech, we're gonna refer you to the best boot camp that's out there, the best program that's out there. And yeah, we can give you a discount to the program. So whatever it is you want to do in tech, just let like either DM me and ask me or let my team know, and we'll refer you to that. And also, but if you're interested in what it is that we offer within our program and our training, our instructors and resources, then make sure that you do reference Ash, because that'll help you get a discount as well. I mean, if you just come in cold, you're not going to get a discount. If y'all want a discount, which you should get a discount, make sure you reference Ash, so that way you get a discount off of the boot camp. So super cool. All right, let's get through the rest of these comments. I know Ash has to jump off, so I'm going to try to blaze these comments. Ash, if you have to jump off before I get the time to get through these, totally fine. I mean, you started before you not started before me. You started on time, and I was later. So if you need to leave early and I need to kind of run things, that's totally cool.
Yeah, go for it, Cyrus.
Are you about to leave?
No, I'll stay. Go for it. You can go ahead and read the rest of the comments.
Okay, cool. All right, just say if you want to leave, just say bye. So everybody can say bye. Mr. Urban World, S&P 500's had a 10% return for 30 years so far. Yeah, it's been consistent. Make six figures now in the car sales industry, but it's mind numbing. I want tech sales, B2B. Yo, you kill it. If you're making six figures in car sales, I interviewed somebody who did a tech sales boot camp, who's now in car sales, or not car sales. He was in car sales. Now he's killing it. And the beauty is that now he's able to work remote. He's working with different types of businesses. It's a whole different type of thing, obviously. And obviously he could scale a lot further too. Like car sales does have a little bit of a ceiling on it to a degree. Sales doesn't really have a ceiling, but depending on what you're selling. Anyway, let's go through the comments. My goal is $1,000 per day, so I need to invest basically 3.6. I'm such a slave to the same point. $3,650,000 into the S&P 500. I wonder, could I live off $1,000 a day? I could. I don't live off of $1,000 a day now. I don't spend that much money, to be clear, y'all. But I'm just thinking in terms of like everything I do, like what I like in terms of what I want to do. I mean, that's a good amount of money. That's a good goal. $1,000 a day, $30,000 a month. What's that? That's $30,000 a month. 12. That's 3.6. Oh yeah, you literally just put it right here. 3.6. Oh yeah, that's 3.6 million a year, I think. No, I'm tripping. No, that's not Playboy. That's $360,000 a year. My math is way off. Way off. Honestly, does the virtual stuff work? I work and speak with a lot of people every day, and most hate virtualization. Yeah. I mean, so I get that people don't like it, but it's just like Uber, where before Uber took off, people were like, oh, there's no way somebody's gonna get a car with a stranger that's not a professional taxi driver. And now look at us now, because Uber is more convenient than taxi. So people always fall prey for what's more convenient. That's just what it is. So the older generation, and by older generation, I don't even necessarily mean age, but more so people that are used to things being a certain way, they don't want change until the change presents itself to be really convenient. I'm looking at Coca-Cola too, because they'll never go out of business. Same with, in terms of investments, that's true. Same with Altria. I know Jake Paul and them, or Logan Paul and them, are trying to disrupt the Coca. Logan Paul, and I think Logan Paul is trying to disrupt that industry in Coca-Cola. And I know they just collaborated with Mr. Beast. There's some crazy collaboration that just happened between Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, and KSI, or KSI, whatever. I think his name's KSI. Anyway, I like you even more now. We might be cousins. Oh, that's funny. Are you talking about me, Mr. Urban World, or somebody else? I ain't trying to get too hype just for you to let me down and be like, nah, bro, I ain't talking about you. This is great info. Thank you. Is web development worth it today? I would say no. Like it's yeah, I would say no. Like again, it's not that it's not good right now. It's just the dead end is coming up very soon for that type of job. Very soon. Like AI can do that. And so it could do that now. Now, to what degree it could do it now, that's the question, but it can do it. And so they teach that, but lack real. Do you feel course careers, tech sales course is still valid? So course careers is still good, but it's for SDR. So you're not going to be trained on account executive. And that's not me shading course careers. I love course careers. Course careers is a great program. If anybody here wants to do course careers, I've interviewed a lot of people. A lot of people that I've helped get in tech has been through collaboration with course careers. Great program. But they do limit you in education when it comes to SDR. So it's a lot harder to become an account executive. And that's one thing I saw. I thought that most people would just be able to be an SDR, then move to account executive. But a lot of those people end up having to do another boot camp. And that's why everything we offer is fully comprehensive. It's like whatever field of tech we're teaching in, you're going to learn everything in that field. So you can do any job in that field. So you have almost limitless options. So it is still a good program. Again, just in the next 2 years, I wager the SDR is going to get crunched down bad. So if you want to do a course careers, literally hit me up. I'll give you my discount link to course careers so you save a little bit of money on. But if you want something that's more fully comprehensive, then just tap in with me and the team on our website, and then we'll help you out with that. Either way, just let me know. We're here to help you out, whatever it is y'all need. So we're here to guide you towards options, but it doesn't have to be a specific option. Just good options. Ash Cyrus, thank you for giving Blacks a reason to not fail and to have excuses. I got laid off from city cybersecurity. Felt like crap, but I did it once. It can be done again. Exactly. It's very rare to hear about someone in cybersecurity getting laid off. So that's crazy. Yeah, sorry that happened. But yeah, happy to be here. And yeah, if you were in the industry, you're better than someone who hasn't been in the industry. You've been in the industry, so you have that on your resume. You have that on your LinkedIn. You can leverage that. You'll be good. Just bounce back in the game. I make 6 figures in agile, but they're trying to push us back into the office. I want to stay remote, so I'm getting more cloud under my belt. Also, you can just look at remote first companies. There are a lot of companies. People don't realize most companies are still remote. Most tech companies are still remote. Even though we're hearing the news of everybody calling people back in office, most companies are still remote. And you can look up what are called remote first companies. Like Google what's called remote first company. And you'll be able to find those companies that are never going to call you into the office. Newt says 100,000 a year is the new 40,000. Yeah, no, that's true. That is really, really true. That's very true. Logan Paul better sit down messing up my future with Coca-Cola. Hey, you could just invest in his company too. Invest in both of them. That way you eat whoever wins. Absolutely, $100,000 feels like nothing. Yeah, depending on where you live at and depending on your lifestyle, 100,000 is real tough to move and shake off of. Would consider any major in college. I was thinking about majoring in physics due to the flexibility of careers. Yeah, I can't speak on physics in college. Obviously, I'm anti-college either for a career that's stupid or for a career that's in the tech industry. But it's something like physics, I don't have a dog in that fight. I don't really know. That's probably a great route to go. I see it with plants too. I don't know what y'all talking about. I'm all over the place. Which boot camp will be better in that aspect? I mean, if you're speaking about for everything comprehensive in tech sales, I would definitely say ours. But if you're speaking solely just SDR, then yeah, do course careers if it's solely just for SDR. But it's something that's fully comprehensive in tech sales. I definitely would say ours. Because it's not just the boot camp and the education, it's also the resources, further being tapped in with Ash even more. as well as the recurring tech events that we're actually launching in December, where we're going to have a recurring tech networking events. And we're actually a part of a community now of over 5,000 professionals. So it's going to be really big networking that you're going to get through us that you're just not going to get through any other boot camp. So when I say like ours is better, it's not like me flexing the flex. It's like, because we have more resources at our disposal than other boot camps have, just from our audience size, the amount of recruiters that want to work with us. I mean, our instructors, just the pieces we have are just really beautiful and we love it. We're really blessed in the position we're in. Anyway, the luxury bucket they're trying to shift. I was remote before the pandemic. Blame Jamie Dimon and Elon Musk for the push back into the office. Yeah, Elon Musk is really smart, but he's never made a good argument as to why people need to be back. His argument for people being back in the office was so stupid. He's like, oh, so you mean to tell me the engineers and the people that are like in there working hard, that they have to be in the office, but you get to sit home? Yeah, because their job requires them to be on site, dude. Like, what are you talking about? You can't compare that person to somebody where it's not like they have to sit. They're literally going to go in and sit in a cubicle and sit at a computer in the office. They're going to literally do the exact same thing they could do at their crib. Like, nothing changes at all. And so it's just weird to me. It's really weird to me. Oren says, can we connect with Ash on LinkedIn? Yeah, definitely tap in with her on LinkedIn. Ash's information should be down below in the description. Let me click to make sure it is. Edit. Yeah. So her name, Ashley Robinson, is down there. You can click on it in the description, or you can just look her up, Ashley Robinson. She's based in Atlanta, so that helps you with the search on LinkedIn. Super cool.
So yeah, I'm gonna send the link just because like there are millions of Ashley Robinsons. So just so you can make sure you're getting to the right place. But most definitely, I think in conclusion, Cyrus's bootcamp is the best on the market. Okay. And you're not only going to get the benefits of having an exclusive tech network, but you're also going to get exclusive necessity skills. So these are skills that you're going to need in order to answer the question of like, how are we able to really adapt and evolve? What you're going to need is the core skill sets within tech and AI. And so you're going to be able to develop that within those specific boot camps. So tap in below. If you're not in tech, you need to run, not walk towards the tech industry. But however, if you're not interested in immediately starting with QA or perhaps in tech sales, I will also say that tech sales is the most lucrative career that you could possibly get into with tech. So if you're interested in that, we could also provide those options to you. But if you're still kind of on the fringe and you're interested in discussing exactly what options you could have within AI, expanding beyond, of course, the well-known ones of QA, cybersecurity, robotics, et cetera, then we can also connect for a specific personalized career path plan. So if you're interested in seeing where you want to go, then I can help with consultative services. So I'm going to send over my YouTube link so you guys can have that and connect with me directly. There should also be my Calendly link as well if you're interested in discussing exactly what paths you should take. And of course, if you're ready to go, then sign up for the boot camp below. What I'm also going to do, you guys, just showing appreciation for everyone being here today on this beautiful Saturday, I'm going to give you exclusive access to these Better Boost Nova X glasses, okay? These are going to be on the market very, very soon as of this month. However, we are giving, certain exclusive people exclusive access. So I'm going to first go ahead and include the link below for these Nova X glasses. This is the future. You're going to be empowered to be able to work on the go, get entertainment on the go, and game on the go. The future is here. The future is now. So that is the link. If you're interested in getting the glasses before anyone else, go ahead and tap in, put your email in, and we'll make sure that we get you the exclusive details. Also going to include my LinkedIn. So if you're interested in connecting with me on LinkedIn, would love to connect with everyone, then please feel free to do so. But also, I guess for our conclusion, just pass it back over to Cyrus. Thank you for being here, everyone.
Love it. I love it. Hey, y'all, look, this is a lot of fun, y'all. I love doing this. Yeah, we're definitely gonna get some stuff so we can transition this over to audio as well. It's literally everything we're doing. All we need is just some decent mics. Some mics we could probably get for like $50. I have better mics, but obviously those mics are in storage in America. I'm not in America. But yeah, we definitely should do this on audio as well, Ash. I think people get a lot of value from this. And then after we do audio, the next step will be us doing it in a studio. And that'll be really cool, especially if this being something live. You know, we probably have like a small area with just a group of people that are able to be in there, ask questions and dialogue, make it pretty fun. But anyway, it's step by step, iteration by iteration as we grow and scale. Look, y'all, love y'all. I hope that y'all have a blessed and beautiful weekend. Make sure y'all tap in with Ash, tap in with her technology and Better Boost. And we will talk to y'all later.